Hello, and welcome to this course on designing user interfaces and experiences. A good UI/UX design is essential for providing a positive user experience to users. Organizations and websites are constantly searching for new and innovative methods to enhance their user interfaces. Therefore, the need for UI/UX designers is growing along with technology. Are you considering a career as a UI/UX designer, front-end developer, or mobile developer? Are you interested in learning how to create UI and UX designs for websites and applications? Or do you want to learn about the various types of approaches in visual design? Then this course is perfect for you. The world is changing due to technologies that are web accessible. Therefore, it is essential to offer users a secure yet user-friendly interface and experience. You will explore design methodologies and approaches and learn about various design tools that will enable you to create the best design products for your users. To fully benefit from this course, you will need to be familiar with the various tools and technologies available in the market. This course is part of a series of IBM courses designed to help you develop UI and UX design skills and create web and mobile applications. When you complete this course, you will be able to describe the best practices of visual design development, differentiate between good and bad web user interfaces, identify web design thinking principles, examine web design methodologies like responsive design and progressive web development, employ Figma, its essential concepts, and its various features for creating a user interface. This course is designed specifically for beginners, with guided instruction videos that walk you through key concepts and essential need-to-know facts. It includes interactive activities to reinforce what you've learned in videos and virtual hands-on labs to help you apply what you've learned as you go. You are encouraged to monitor and post in the course discussion forum, where you can connect with others taking the course and get assistance from the course team. And the practice assessments help you assess your knowledge, while the graded assessments prove what you've learned, leading to a shareable badge and certificate that you can show prospective employers. We're here to support your success and are excited you're here. Let's get started. Welcome to What is Design and UI/UX? After watching this video, you will be able to define user-centered design, UCD, describe user interface, UI, and its various components, describe user experience, UX, and some of its core concepts, discuss the distinctions and importance of UI and UX. The success of a website or application depends on its ability to create a seamless and engaging experience for users. The User-Centered Design, UCD, framework ensures that the final product aligns with the user's requirements. UCD focuses on users' needs, preferences, and behaviors in the design process. It involves understanding users' goals, tasks, and expectations to create intuitive and effective digital experiences. In essence, the user is at the center of the design process. UCD plays a crucial role when designing a product's user interface, UI, and user experience, UX. UI is the look and feel of a product, whereas UX focuses on the holistic experience of a user when interacting with a product. Let's now explore UI in greater detail. UI refers to the visual and interactive elements through which users interact with a website, application, or product. It comprises the graphical layout, buttons, controls, menus, forms, and other screen components that users see and interact with. Hence, in a digital context, a screen is an interface for users to interact with a software application. In contrast, remote control is an interface for users to interact with the television in the physical world. The primary purpose for a user interface is to enable users to efficiently and effectively communicate and interact with the system. Do you know what makes a website visually engaging? Let's take an example of a website. When you browse a website, various UI components guide users and help them interact with the system. These components also add value to a website visually. Let's start with the arrangement and positioning of UI elements within the interface, which is the layout. Typography is the font, sizes, and text styles within the user interface. Here is a list of options or actions that users can select from, also known as a menu. You can use images and graphics to enhance the visual appeal and convey information within the user interface. Visual symbols that represent actions, objects, or concepts are icons. Lastly, to input data or provide information, you can use forms. User experience, UX, is the overall experience and interaction that users have with a product, system, or service. It includes all aspects of the user's interaction, including their needs, goals, expectations, and behaviors when using a particular product or service. UX design aims to provide the user with an efficient and relevant experience. It is important to understand that while UX design principles are very commonly used for digital experiences, the field of UX itself is broader and applies to anything a user can experience. For example, a Mercedes car salesman providing a test drive option for its customers before they purchase the vehicle is part of the user experience. UX designers can elevate the overall quality of a product or service by incorporating its core concepts. Here are some of the core concepts of UX: usability, adaptability, desirability, iteration. Usability is the ease of use and efficiency with which users can interact with a product or system. UX designers try to ensure that users can easily accomplish their tasks without much help, can do so in less time, and can easily learn a new process, thereby increasing user satisfaction through the concept of usability. The second core concept is adaptability. Adaptability in UX design involves creating flexible interfaces that can cater to various user needs, preferences, and contexts. It recognizes that users have different abilities, devices, and environments in which they interact with a product or service. Adaptability enables a wider reach, increased accessibility, and improved user retention. The third core concept is desirability. It involves creating an emotional connection between users and the product or service. It involves visual aesthetics, branding, and the overall appeal of the user interface. Desirability plays a vital role in attracting new users and retaining old users. It also helps to differentiate the brand from its competitors. The fourth core concept is iteration. It emphasizes the iterative and continuous improvement process in UX design. It involves gathering user feedback, conducting usability testing, and incorporating insights into subsequent design iterations. By embracing an iterative approach, UX designers refine and optimize the user experience based on real-world usage and user input. Let's now explore the key differences between UI and UX design. The first difference is that UI focuses on the interface's visual elements and interactive components, whereas UX focuses on the overall experience and satisfaction of the user. Next, UI involves designing buttons, icons, menus, typography, and color schemes, whereas UX involves understanding user needs and goals. Another major difference is that UI aims to create an attractive and visually pleasing interface, whereas UX aims to create meaningful and enjoyable user experiences. The fourth difference is that UI primarily deals with the presentation layer of the product, whereas UX focuses on the entire user journey and product usability. UI and UX design play crucial roles in creating successful products and services. UI/UX enhances user satisfaction and engagement by providing intuitive and visually appealing interfaces that are easy to navigate. This leads to positive user experiences and customer loyalty. Additionally, investing in UI and UX design can save costs and time in the long run. Businesses can avoid costly redesigns and iterations by identifying and addressing design issues early in the process. Moreover, UI and UX design help differentiate products in a competitive market by offering unique and memorable experiences. In this video, you learn that the UCD framework focuses on users' needs, preferences, and behaviors. UI refers to the visual and interactive elements through which users interact with the product or service. There are different UI components that guide users and help them interact with the system. User experience, UX, is users' overall experience and interaction with a product, system, or service. UX designers can elevate the overall quality of a product or service by incorporating its core concepts. UI and UX design play crucial roles in creating successful products and services. Welcome to the importance of UI/UX. Smith is a junior data analyst in a small organization. He wants to enhance his coding skills by pursuing Python courses online and discovers 2 websites that offer interesting courses. He is seeking the ideal Python course that matches his current skill level. Smith visits the first website, but his excitement quickly fades as he sees a messy, unorganized design. The course listings are not sorted by skill level, making it hard for Smith to find courses that match his current abilities. The menu options are confusing, making it difficult for him to find specific sections and browse the available courses. Moreover, the course descriptions lack enough information regarding its curriculum and how they are taught. As Smith continues to explore the website, he notices that the pages take a long time to load. The slow loading time makes it even more difficult for him to access the important details about the Python courses. To make matters worse, when Smith attempts to view the course details, he encounters a lengthy sign-up procedure that requires him to provide excessive personal information. This additional hurdle frustrates him and creates an unnecessary barrier to accessing the course details. The combination of the cluttered design, confusing navigation, inadequate course descriptions, slow loading pages, and lengthy sign-up process further disheartens Smith, making it harder for him to decide on the right Python course for his needs. Smith now visits the second website and is immediately impressed by its clean and visually engaging design. He notices that the listed courses are conveniently categorized into different skill levels. This categorization makes it effortless for Smith to find courses that are appropriate for his current skill level in Python. As he explores the course listings, Smith is delighted to find that the course descriptions are comprehensive and provide him with all the necessary information to make an informed decision. The descriptions cover details about the course content, curriculum, teaching approach, and any prerequisites, giving Smith a clear understanding of what to expect from each course. The second website's user experience is further enhanced by an intuitive search feature that allows Smith to easily search for specific topics or keywords related to Python courses. This feature saves him time and ensures he can quickly find courses that align with his interests. Overall, the clean design, categorized listings, comprehensive course descriptions, and intuitive search features make Smith's experience on the second website a pleasant and user-friendly one, helping him confidently select the ideal Python course. Smith's experience browsing through the 2 websites vividly demonstrates the paramount significance of UI, user interface, and UX, user experience. A well-crafted UI and UX contribute to a visually captivating and user-friendly website or app. It amplifies the usability and overall user experience, leading to heightened user satisfaction and fostering repeat visits. Delighted users are more inclined to spread positive word-of-mouth referrals, further expanding the reach and reputation of the website or app. Consequently, it becomes imperative for websites and apps to prioritize and invest in a good UI and UX. By ensuring a positive user experience, these platforms can cultivate user loyalty, foster engagement, and establish a solid foundation for sustained usage and growth. Welcome to Design Thinking. After watching this video, you will be able to describe the design thinking process, explain the stages of the design thinking process, identify the benefits of using the design thinking process. The user interface, UI, and user experience, UX, play a crucial role in developing user-friendly and visually appealing websites or apps. A website, if not designed properly, hampers the usability and overall user experience, leading to reduced user satisfaction and repeat visits. So, how do we create a user-friendly website with an intuitive user interface that enhances the overall user experience and meets the specific needs of the target audience? Users typically will not tell an organization what they need, desire, or want. Businesses have to discover those user needs through a structured, user-focused approach. By employing the design thinking process, businesses can tackle complex problems, drive innovation, and create solutions that meet the needs of users. It is a problem-solving process specifically tailored for creating user-centric UI and UX designs. It aims to find practical and logical solutions by focusing on potential ways to solve a problem. Let us now discuss how design thinking is a user-centered approach. Design thinking focuses on meeting the emotional, cognitive, and aesthetic needs of users. It involves implementing a practical, user-centered design process that prioritizes user satisfaction. Consider how difficult it was for customers to purchase goods that were not easily available before online shopping platforms became popular. Let's explore how Amazon addressed this issue and revolutionized shopping. Amazon is an American e-commerce company that sells a wide range of goods to customers online. It allows customers to browse through a variety of options before selecting the product they want to purchase. Easy payment options further make the shopping experience enjoyable. The seamless user experience that Amazon provides through design thinking has helped the company not only gain new customers, but retain existing ones. Design thinking includes various stages that assist designers and teams in understanding users, defining challenges, generating ideas, creating prototypes, and testing solutions. The various stages in the design thinking process include empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Empathize is the first stage in the design thinking process. The objective of this stage is to gain an empathetic understanding of the target users, their needs, and their goals when interacting with a product. Designers set aside their personal biases or assumptions about the world and try to insert themselves in the user's shoes to develop a deeper understanding of the problem from users' perspectives. They try to engage with real users to understand their experiences through activities like interviews, observations, and surveys. They aim to gain insights into users' motivations, behaviors, and pain points. The second stage in the design thinking process is define. This involves analyzing information that you collected during the empathize phase and identifying the core problems and challenges that the users are facing. Designers analyze the research findings, looking for patterns, themes, and opportunities. They aim to gain a holistic understanding of the problem and articulate a problem statement that defines the specific challenge to be addressed from a user perspective. For example, instead of stating, "We need to provide comfortable shoes to elder people," the problem statement can be made from the user's perspective as, "Older age people need shoes that provide relief and comfort to their feet." Ideate is a creative stage where designers generate diverse ideas and solutions. Through brainstorming, workshops, and tools like mind maps and sketches, they foster creativity and divergent thinking. Participants are encouraged to think freely, embrace ideas, and build upon each other's suggestions while keeping in mind the learnings from the first two stages. The objective is to explore unconventional thinking and generate a wide range of ideas to solve user problems. The fourth stage is developing a prototype. It involves transforming the selected ideas from the ideation stage into tangible representations or prototypes. This is an important aspect of the design thinking process. A good design process tries to prototype and iterate often. Designers choose the appropriate prototyping methods based on the nature of the solution. These can be in the form of low-fidelity sketches and wireframes to interactive digital mock-ups. In the testing stage, prototypes are evaluated through user testing to identify usability issues and gather feedback. Designers extensively test the finished product. Despite being the last stage of the design thinking process, it is often not the end of the product. It also involves identifying additional and related issues that might need to be addressed and then iterating through the 5 stages again for those additional areas. Let's now explore some benefits of the design thinking process. Design thinking encourages a user-centered approach, leading to solutions that better meet user needs. The process fosters creativity and innovation by exploring multiple ideas and perspectives. It reduces the risk of developing products that users may not find valuable or intuitive. Finally, it promotes an iterative design and continuous improvement based on user feedback. In this video, you'll learn that design thinking is a problem-solving process tailored for creating user-centric UI and UX designs. It involves implementing a practical, user-centered design process that prioritizes user satisfaction. There are 5 stages in the design thinking process: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. The process promotes continuous improvement. Welcome to UX Design and Strategies. After watching this video, you will be able to explain the significance of user experience, UX design in the design thinking process, and describe various strategies employed in different stages of the design thinking process. Design thinking is a problem-solving approach that prioritizes understanding users' needs and preferences. It helps businesses develop a user-focused mindset to gain a comprehensive understanding of users' needs, thereby enabling them to develop innovative solutions that deliver meaningful and valuable experiences to users. UX designs, with its emphasis on user-centered design principles, aligns perfectly with the core principles of design thinking. Have you ever come across a website or application that lacks intuitive navigation and has a confusing user interface? If yes, this is where UX design comes into play. It fosters user empathy, drives user-centered solutions, facilitates iterative prototyping, promotes collaboration, and helps enhance the overall user experience. Suppose you need to create an e-learning portal that has an enhanced user interface and intuitive navigation. What UX strategies will you employ to enhance the overall experience of the users? Well, the strategies you can use include user research, user personas, generating solutions, wireframing and prototyping, usability testing, and iteration. Let's discuss each of these strategies in detail now. The process begins with empathizing with the potential learners and conducting thorough research to understand the target users, their goals, motivations, and pain points. By conducting user research and immersing themselves in the user's environment, designers gain valuable information that informs and guides the design process, ensuring that the final product or solution meets the user's needs effectively. This can involve techniques such as user interviews or surveys. For example, asking learners how they prefer to learn. Do they prefer interactive activities, video lectures, or written materials? Or what factors influence their decision to enroll on an online learning platform? Designers conduct user research to create user personas, which are fictional representations of the target user. Personas help designers understand different types of users and their characteristics, allowing them to design for specific user needs and scenarios. Personas are created during the define stage of the design thinking process. When creating user personas, it's important to base them on real data and insights obtained from user research. Here is an example of a user persona for an entry-level job seeker and career aspirant. Ben is a computer science graduate looking forward to starting his career in the software industry. He is searching for an entry-level job in the industry and requires hands-on technical skills. Ben's main challenges revolve around his limited technical knowledge and employability skills, as well as his lack of career guidance. He uses professional channels like LinkedIn and GitHub to learn and explore opportunities. The next stage in the design thinking process is ideation, which involves generating creative solutions to address a specific problem or challenge. In this phase, the focus is on generating a wide range of ideas without judgment or evaluation. The team engages in a collaborative and iterative process of generating ideas, exploring possibilities, and narrowing down to a set of feasible and valuable solutions. For example, group sketching is one way of brainstorming that involves sketching your ideas on paper and passing them on to other members, who then add their ideas. Prototyping is a powerful way to have a sample, physical or simulated, version of your idea or final product. Let's say you are designing a new bicycle. A physical prototype may be a 3D printed version of your product design. Similarly, a simulated prototype for a mobile application may be a rough-cut design of the application, with simulated interaction to show how your application will function. There are various tools available to help design digital prototypes. While an advanced tool is Figma, one can also use PowerPoint animations to show how your interface will function. Wireframing is a technique used during the prototyping phase to create visual representations of your interface and its key elements. It helps establish the layout, hierarchy, and content placement. The wireframing and prototyping phase allows designers and stakeholders to visualize the structure and layout of a digital product before investing time and resources in detailed design or development. You can incorporate interactive elements, such as drop-down menus, buttons, and form fields, to simulate user interactions with quizzes, assignments, or discussion boards. Wireframes can be of different types: low-fidelity, mid-fidelity, and high-fidelity wireframes. Low-fidelity wireframes are typically early, rough sketches, while high-fidelity wireframes can be close to a finished design with a good amount of detail. Usability testing involves observing and collecting feedback from users as they interact with the prototype or the actual product. It helps identify usability issues, validate design decisions, and make improvements based on user feedback. The team collects suggestions and insights related to specific features, layouts, and interactions from the testers. Usability testing can involve tasks, surveys, think-aloud protocols, and heat maps to measure user interactions and satisfaction. Heat maps are a great way of collecting data on how people interact with an application or website. The last step in the process is iteration. It involves multiple cycles of testing, feedback, and refinement. Designers continuously refine and improve the UI and UX based on user insights until they achieve an optimal user experience. By incorporating iteration throughout the design thinking process, designers can refine and enhance their solutions, ensuring they are effective, user-centered, and aligned with the desired goals and outcomes. For example, evaluating the browsing history of the user to identify the issue and fix it. In this video, you learn that design thinking is a problem-solving approach that prioritizes understanding users' needs and preferences. UX design improves the overall user experience. By conducting user research, designers can gain valuable information that informs and guides the design process. There are various stages one can use to enhance the overall experience of the users. Welcome to wireframing and prototyping. After watching this video, you will be able to describe wireframes and prototypes and identify the steps to create a wireframe and a prototype for an online course. Wireframes and prototypes are integral to the design process. These are low-fidelity visual representations that outline a user interface's UI structure, layout, and basic functionality. They aim to map the interface's user flow and interaction patterns to ensure a logical and intuitive user experience, UX. Wireframes can be in the form of paper sketches or storyboards. Let's now explore prototypes. Prototypes are interactive representations created during the design and development process. Before building the final product, they simulate and test functionality, UX, and design concepts. Prototypes can be interactive digital or physical models, allowing users to interact with the interface. Wireframes and prototypes help streamline the design process by visualizing and testing ideas early on, thereby saving time and resources. Let's consider a scenario to understand these two concepts better. An aspiring high school student, Sarah, is interested in learning Python programming online. She wants to gain practical skills and knowledge for future projects. Her primary goal is to acquire critical skills to enhance her career prospects. However, she faces the challenge of finding reliable and comprehensive online resources tailored to Python learning. Let's talk about planning the content for the homepage before we dive into wireframing and prototyping. The first step to creating the homepage involves planning the content. Identify the key components to include, such as the logo, navigation, menu, call to action buttons, and search bar. Strategic content planning will lay the foundation for an effective and engaging homepage. Let's now talk about designing the wireframes of the homepage. Begin with identifying the main sections and content elements to include, as you did while planning the content. Using pen, paper, and cards, sketch the layout, determining the key sections and modules to include, such as menu, featured courses, recent updates, and search bar. For example, consider using larger rectangular cards for the featured courses section to allow for better visual impact. For the recent updates section, smaller square cards may be suitable to display concise information. Next, sketch the layout, indicating the precise placement of each card. Place the featured courses cards on top of the page, highlighting each card's course image, title, and brief description. Consider arranging these cards in a horizontal row or a carousel-style display to maximize visibility. Below the featured courses section, arrange the Recent Updates cards in a grid layout. Each card should display the course title and update date, providing a snapshot of the latest content additions or changes. Ensure consistent spacing between the cards for a visually pleasing and organized appearance. Now, you need to progress from wireframing to prototyping. To simulate the functionality of the homepage, you will create interactive prototypes using prototyping tools or software such as Figma. These include integrating interactive elements, navigation menus, buttons, and other features. Users can interact with the homepage, simulating actions like button clicks, menu navigation, and accessing various content sections. The prototypes serve as a representation of the final website and enable us to gather valuable user feedback. By allowing users to interact with the prototypes, we can evaluate the intuitiveness and effectiveness of the UI design. The last step is testing and gathering feedback. You must conduct usability testing and gather user feedback to evaluate the prototype's user experience. Based on the feedback received, the prototype will go through an iteration, making necessary adjustments to improve its usability and address any issues identified. The iterative process will involve multiple rounds of testing, feedback, and refinement to ensure the prototype meets the desired user experience and aligns with the project goals. In this video, you learn that wireframes and prototypes are integral to the design process. Wireframes are low-fidelity visual representations that outline a UI structure, layout, and basic functionality. Prototypes are interactive representations created during the design and development process. Various steps are involved in creating a wireframe and a prototype for a homepage. Welcome to Design Methodologies and Approaches. After watching this video, you will be able to describe the different stages in designing a product. Explain the methods and approach designers adopt at each stage. There are 4 stages of designing a product. These include discovery, exploration, testing, and listening. Let's talk about each stage in detail. The discovery stage is the period when designers collaborate to determine what needs to be built, what information is needed to begin, and what problems the product will solve or address. There are 3 approaches that designers adopt in the discovery stage: field study, user interviews, and stakeholder interviews. A field study implies collecting user information by observing users and asking open-ended questions, as well as follow-up questions, to understand users' behaviors better. A user interview is a method of understanding how the target user behaves in a situation and why he behaves in that manner. It can be conducted in the form of a one-on-one meeting, in a group setting, or as online interviews using surveys. Finally, stakeholder interviews are conducted to collect vital information from those interested in the product to be developed and used. The exploration stage is the time when various methods are used to understand the problem that the product will address. In this stage, the design scope, as well as the user's needs, is defined. 3 types of methods are used in this stage: persona building, task analysis, and journey mapping. Persona building implies creating realistic personas of the target user. It helps classify potential users of a product. Task analysis is a step-by-step analysis of tasks that users will perform while using the product. It helps designers understand how users will be able to fulfill their needs by using the product. Journey mapping implies visualizing the journey of the potential customer, from being aware of an existing problem to becoming a happy user of your product. This methodology aims to identify the pain points in the product's process when users attempt to complete tasks. In the testing stage, UX designers run testing to ensure that the product is able to meet the unique needs of the target users and generate actionable feedback. This will help save additional costs and develop a successful product. There are 3 types of testing that UX designers perform: qualitative usability testing, benchmark testing, and accessibility testing. Qualitative usability testing aims to collect detailed and direct feedback about the product from the users. Benchmark testing aims to evaluate a product's progress over a period. For example, testing the progress through different iterations of a prototype. Accessibility testing aims to identify and remove barriers that users face when interacting with a product. When designing a product with accessibility in mind, UX designers target accessibility for all types of users, including those with disabilities. The 4th stage of designing a product is listening. Here, UX designers attempt to collect data related to the product. Surveys are a method of receiving information about the design and experience of a product. Another listening method is searching log files for product errors and user-logged activities. Log files should be analyzed by UX designers to understand actions that users perform when using the product. Lastly, a usability bug review is a method of encouraging stakeholders and users to help participate in removing bugs from a product by allowing them to report bugs to be fixed. In this video, you learned that there are 4 stages in designing a product. There are different methods and approaches designers adopt at each stage. Welcome to Visual Design Principles in UI Design. After watching this video, you will be able to identify some key principles in visual design and define some essential user interface UI design elements. A bad UI can be confusing, unintuitive, and inefficient, making it difficult for users to interact with. Therefore, visual design principles play a crucial role in delivering meaningful experiences to users, acting as guidelines for developers to adhere to. There are some key design principles that UI and UX designers must consider when developing a UI. These include alignment, hierarchy, contrast, repetition, proximity, balance, and space. Let's consider an example of an e-learning portal and discuss each principle in detail. Alignment is an important visual design principle that involves organizing and balancing elements of a design. It arranges the various elements, such as images, texts, shapes, and other graphical elements, on the screen in relation to each other and to the borders and edges of a screen or interface, as shown here. Some common types of alignment provide a sense of order, structure, and consistency within a design layout. You can choose left, right, center, justified, vertical, horizontal, or mixed alignment techniques as a visual designer. A well-aligned design offers several advantages, including increased user engagement with the product, enhanced usability, and a stronger visual connection between the elements of the design. Here are some best practices for alignment. Align your visual elements so they appear visually structured. Ensure you align your text and visual components horizontally and vertically. Implement consistent line spacing. Align your images to the text. Be aware of spacing and margins. Give breathing room to your design. The next visual design principle we are going to discuss is hierarchy. It focuses on placing important elements in the foreground and less important elements in the background. There are 3 key components of this principle: the size of elements representing their importance, the shape that can highlight the importance of elements as they are placed in specific shapes, and the placement of elements higher in a design. Hierarchy helps guide the viewer's eye to the most important information in a design, making it easier to understand and remember. Contrast implies pairing elements that are opposite to each other. This visual design principle is crucial as it gives the area a focal point and helps grab a user's attention. There are many ways of incorporating contrast. Texture, shape, color, and distance are a few examples. Contrast draws users' attention to crucial details and introduces diversity into a design. For example, pairing light colors with dark or pairing angles and curves. The next visual design principle that we will explore is repetition. It involves the use of recurring elements or motifs to create consistency and rhythm in a composition. It helps establish a visual hierarchy, create visual interest, and reinforce a design's overall message or theme. Using similar shapes, colors, and other elements creates a proper design. For example, having the same look and feel across the company's products and services indicates the consistency of an overall robust design. Proximity implies grouping similar objects together in a design. It creates a visual relationship between design elements and separates disconnected elements. When incorporating proximity, it is important to set a clear focal point and establish a clear starting and ending point for the user. For example, on the course listing page of an e-learning portal, proximity organizes the courses for users to view them properly. Balance in a design ensures visual stability and harmony. Balanced objects in a design have the same shape, size, and color. Balance in a visual design can be achieved through symmetrical, asymmetrical, or radial approaches. Symmetrical balance evenly distributes elements, while asymmetrical balance uses contrasting elements for a dynamic composition. Radial balance arranges elements around a central focal point, creating movement and drawing attention. For example, on a web page, you can place a large image on the left side and a smaller image or text on the right. This asymmetrical arrangement in size and positioning creates a well-balanced composition. The space element of a visual design refers to the intentional use and manipulation of empty or negative space within a design. UI designers can use two types of space: negative space and positive space. Negative, or white space, is the empty or unoccupied area surrounding or between the positive elements. It does not have to be in white. Instead, it means there is no design element in that space. Most often, white space is used to spotlight other areas of design and to guide the user's eyesight through the design areas in a logical fashion. Positive space refers to the occupied or filled areas within the design, such as objects, texts, or images. For example, using ample negative space to create an uncluttered and elegant web page user interface. Let us now explore some visual design elements of a UI. UI design encompasses various design elements that work together to create an effective and visually appealing user experience. Here are some essential elements of a UI design: images, texts, buttons, headers, footers, layouts. Let's discuss each of them in detail. Images are visual representations that can convey information and create engaging interfaces. These can be photographs, illustrations, or graphics. They help enhance an application or website's overall usability, aesthetics, and user engagement. Texts are a fundamental UI design element used to communicate information, instructions, and content to users. These include headings, body texts, buttons, labels, and other typographic elements. Proper text hierarchy, font choices, and readability are essential for a user-friendly interface. Buttons are interactive elements that enable users to trigger actions or navigate applications or websites. They offer intuitive ways to interact and perform functions like form submission, search initiation, and decision confirmation. The header is a prominent area at the top of a web page or application screen, providing a visual identity with branding elements like logos, slogans, or company names. It includes navigation menus, displays relevant information, and fosters trust and familiarity. The footer is found at the bottom of a web page or application screen. It offers secondary navigation options, allowing users to access secondary sections of a website or application. The footer includes contact information, legal disclaimers, copyright notices, and privacy policies for user convenience and compliance with legal requirements. The layout organizes the elements of a design or interface. It positions and structures content, creating a cohesive composition. A well-structured layout guides user flow, establishes a hierarchy, and enables easy application or website navigation. In this video, you learn that visual design principles are crucial in delivering meaningful experiences to users. There are 7 key design principles that UI and UX designers must consider when developing a UI. UI design encompasses various design elements that work together to create an effective and visually appealing user experience. Welcome to UI Design in Figma. After watching this video, you will be able to identify the various tools used in user interface UI design and describe Figma and its key features and advantages. UI design focuses on the visual aspect of a digital product, playing a crucial role in delivering a great user experience. In order to create engaging and intuitive UI, designers need dependable UI tools. There are various design tools available for creating professional user interfaces. We can broadly categorize these into raster editing tools, vector editing tools, and UI design tools according to user requirements. Let's explore each of them in detail. Raster editing tools are software applications that allow you to edit and manipulate raster-based images. These images are composed of pixels, each carrying a specific color. Photoshop and GNU Image Manipulation Program, GIMP, are popular raster editing tools. Photoshop is a powerful raster graphics editing software application from Adobe. It allows designers to perform various creative functions, such as photo editing, graphic design, digital art, and image manipulation. GIMP is an open-source software application for raster graphics editing. Like Photoshop, GIMP provides a wide range of tools and features for tasks such as photo retouching, image composition, and graphic design. Let's now talk about vector editing tools. Vector editing tools are software applications that help create, edit, and manipulate vector graphics. Mathematical equations and geometric shapes serve as the base for vector graphics, which enable them to scale and resize without losing quality. Some popular vector editing tools include Illustrator and Inkspace. Illustrator is a vector graphics editing software application from Adobe. It allows designers to create scalable and high-quality artwork for various purposes. It also offers precise control over vector graphics with anchor points, lines, and curves, ensuring smooth and detailed designs. Inkspace is an open-source vector graphics editing software application. Like Illustrator, it allows all to create and edit scalable vector graphics, SVG, which designers commonly use in user interfaces. UI design tools are software applications that allow you to create, edit, and refine interactive prototypes. These tools can visually demonstrate a digital product's functionality, flow, and user experience before development. Some popular prototyping editing tools include Sketch, Adobe Experience Design, XD, and Figma. Sketch is a design and prototyping tool that caters specifically to Mac users. It offers styles, artboards, and symbols for creating layout components. Adobe XD is a powerful design and prototyping tool from Adobe. It allows designers to create interactive prototypes, wireframes, and designs for websites, mobile apps, and other digital experiences. Adobe XD also allows collaboration on projects seamlessly. Figma is a cloud-based design and prototyping tool designers use to create UIs and interactive prototypes with team members. It provides a comprehensive platform for the complete design process, from creating initial wireframes to delivering design assets. Figma offers a wide range of features. The application provides robust design tools like vector editing, layout tools, and other advanced features. Designers can create high-fidelity designs, define interactions, and build interactive prototypes to showcase user flows and interactions. Figma allows multiple designers or team members to work simultaneously on the same design file. Changes made by one person are instantly visible to others, which fosters seamless collaboration. Figma also offers design libraries and components. Design libraries are centralized locations for designers to store design elements, styles, and assets. It helps maintain design consistency throughout the process. Finally, Figma supports responsive design, allowing designers to create designs that adapt to different screen sizes and orientations. Designers can set responsive constraints, define layout grids, and preview their designs across multiple devices, ensuring a consistent user experience across various platforms. Let's now explore some advantages of Figma. Figma provides cross-platform compatibility, allowing designers to access and work on designs using any internet-connected device. It seamlessly supports Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, ensuring flexibility across different operating systems. Another advantage of Figma is its ease of use. With a user-friendly interface and intuitive design tools, beginners and experienced designers can quickly grasp and utilize its features. Figma's cloud-based architecture makes it highly accessible for remote collaboration. Designers and team members can access and collaborate on design files from anywhere, making it ideal for distributed teams or remote work environments. Lastly, Figma offers version control and history. Figma automatically saves design files in real time, ensuring no changes are lost. It also allows designers to review and revert to previous iterations if needed. Figma simplifies the UI design process. Designers can create high-fidelity designs using powerful tools like vector editing and layout features, all in one place. The centralized platform allows access and management of design files, eliminating the need for multiple tools. In addition, Figma integrates prototyping capabilities, enabling designers to create interactive prototypes for user flows, usability testing, and feedback collection. This integration eliminates the requirement for separate prototyping tools, streamlining the design and testing process. In this video, you learn that there are various UI design tools available for creating professional UIs and applications. You can broadly categorize design tools as raster editing tools, vector editing tools, and UI design tools. Figma offers several advantages that make it a preferred choice as a prototype editing tool. Welcome to Designing a User Interface. After watching this video, you will be able to list the basic elements used for designing a user interface, describe the basic elements used for designing a user interface. Visual design focuses on a website's appearance in order to enhance user experience. Some visual design basic elements are lines, shapes, textures, and forms. These are the building blocks for developing a good design. In this video, we will discuss designing a user interface by using these elements. Let's start with the first basic element. Lines are crucial for creating user interfaces and design. They help separate areas in layouts and direct the attention of users. Lines have 3 dimensions. These include length, width, and direction. Lines can also be drawn horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. Designers can draw straight lines, which are not curved or angled. Curved lines bend or curve in various shapes, whereas angled lines join to create shapes. The next basic element is shape. Shapes can be of different types. These can be big, small, round, angular, open, or closed. These can also be 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional. Icons and symbols are 2 examples of shapes. Other examples of shapes used in user design are geometric shapes. These include circles, squares, triangles, spirals, arrows, and rectangles. The third basic element is texture. Textures are elements that can be seen but not felt by users since these are digital. Textures attract the user's attention or create a focal point within an interface. These create a physical illusion that describes the type of component that the design is seeking to convey. A steel wallpaper image as a theme on a mobile or web app is an example of a texture. The last basic element is form, which tends to be 3-dimensional. Forms have 3 basic attributes. These include height, width, and depth. The objective of using forms in visual design is to describe space or to add volume to something. Forms can be made by combining 2 or more shapes together, which could also contain different textures, tones, and colors. In this video, you learned that lines, shapes, textures, and forms are the building blocks for developing a good design. Lines are crucial for creating user interfaces and designs. Shapes can be of different types. Textures attract the user's attention or create a focal point within an interface. The objective of using forms in visual design is to describe space or to add volume to something. Welcome to Typography, Readability, and Color Theory in UI Design. After watching this video, you will be able to define typography and its two components, describe readability, outline the 5 elements of typography, describe color theory. Certain aspects of user interface, UI, have a massive impact on users. These are essential for communicating the intent of the website. In this video, we will discuss some aspects essential in UI design. These are typography, readability, and color theory. Let's learn about the first essential aspect. Typography is a form of communication that designers employ to communicate visually with users. It also facilitates communication, allowing users to follow and comprehend a product better. Typography comprises 2 components, typefaces and fonts. A typeface is an element in letter form that communicates effectively and is easy for users to understand. Each typeface has its own family and contains a range of fonts. A font is a component of a typeface and a specific style within a font family. Arial, for example, is a font family that includes specific font styles such as Arial Italic and Arial Bold. The next critical aspect is readability. Users should be able to read content easily and connect with it. Serif and sans serif are the 2 fundamental types of typefaces for improving readability. Headlines, web page headers, and storylines frequently consist of serif typefaces. Serif typefaces are easily read and recognizable by the lines at the end of the stroke edges. Conversely, sans serif typefaces lack tiny lines on their edges. You can view sans serif fonts in the body of text, such as web pages and mobile content. These fonts help users with readability as they are easier to view and understand. Arial, Verdana, and Helvetica are examples of font families that are sans serifs. Let's now explore the 5 elements of typography. These are alignment, proximity, measure, leading, and weight. Alignment refers to how the text is aligned, such as left, center, or right. Proximity is the arrangement of things while considering white space and distance to other elements. The measure is the content's width or the paragraph's line. Leading is also known as A-line. Height is taken into account when spacing 2 lines of paragraphs or text. Finally, weight is taken into account for font spacing and thickness. The last aspect is color theory. The combination of light and the range of wavelengths seen by human eyes, such as results in a visual spectrum of colors, is known as color theory. For example, absorbed light appears black, while reflected wavelengths appear white. Albert Munsell, a professor in the early 20th century, created the color system. His system had 3 components: hue, value, and chroma. Hue is the object's current color. Value is also known as the luminance, which means increasing the amount of black to a hue will decrease the brightness or value, while increasing the amount of white will increase the brilliance or value of the color. Finally, chroma is the purity of the hue. The chroma is higher and better with fewer shades, whereas it will be lower with more shades of gray. In this video, you learned that typography is a form of communication that designers employ to communicate visually with users. Typography comprises 2 components. Serif and sans serif are the 2 fundamental types of typefaces for improving readability. There are 5 elements of typography. The color theory combines light and the range of wavelengths human eyes see. Welcome to Best Practices in UI Design for Web and Mobile. After watching this video, you will be able to explain the qualities of a good user interface, UI, design. Describe the best practices for developing different components of a web and mobile interface. A website or app's user interface, UI, includes its visual design and functionality. Therefore, UI design is one of the most important facets of a website or application. It is the process of developing the look and feel of a user interface. A good UI design enhances the user's experience in several ways. Let's explore the qualities that make a good UI design. People should not find it difficult or challenging when they engage with a product. A good UI design is simple and doesn't waste the user's time. Another indication of a good UI design is the appropriate use of colors. It directs the user's attention to specific areas of a web page or mobile interface. Lastly, it is important to arrange elements according to their importance. Elements of higher importance should come on top, whereas the elements with lesser importance should come below. Let's now understand the best practices for developing different components of a web and mobile interface. These components include layouts, navigation, sidebar, headers. For web and mobile layouts, using a grid is the best practice for incorporating user familiarity. It is a structured layout and comprises columns, gutters, and margins that organize how elements should appear on a page. A column refers to vertical divisions on a website or application. A gutter is the space between columns. The leftmost and rightmost areas of the screen are known as margins. There are 3 types of grid structures. These are column grid, modular grid, and hierarchical grid. The column grid uses columns to divide a page. A modular grid includes columns but also adds rows. Lastly, a hierarchical grid is made up of columns, rows, and modules that expand in size to organize elements according to their importance. The next component is navigation. The primary purpose of navigation is to help users access information on a website or mobile application while also encouraging them to act. Navigation includes user interface components, such as global navigation found in headers and local navigation found in sidebar navigation. The highest level in navigation hierarchy is global navigation. Local navigation, on the other hand, is the user's current position and what is closest to navigate. Breadcrumb links, filters, and related links are also navigational components. Let's now understand the best practices in the sidebar component. The sidebar, also known as the vertical left side navigation, is the main navigation UI component that offers room for growth and greater familiarity with users. Due to its left alignment and vertical orientation, it also adapts nicely to mobile apps. The best practice for sidebars is to make them stand out by using a noticeable design, such as contrasting the main body of the text. Another recommendation is to avoid duplicating the horizontal menu. The duplication of the same menu items may lead to confusion for the users. Another best practice is to avoid hiding the navigation behind icons. Instead, use labels with icons so that the navigation for users is familiar to them. Lastly, move less important menu links to the sidebar's bottom. The last component is headers. Headers are the elements at the top of a website or mobile app's page that provide navigation, search, and utility navigation. One best practice when designing headers is to use sticky headers. These are headers that remain in the same place on the screen while users scroll down. Maximizing the content to Chrome ratio is crucial to keep the sticky header as short as possible while still being readable and tappable for users. Another best practice is to keep the contrast of the content in the sticky header different from the rest of the page so that the sticky header remains noticeable. Footers are at the bottom of every website or mobile app page, just below the main body text. Reminding visitors of the features and benefits of a business's offerings and acting as a last resort when trying to find something on the website or mobile are 2 best practices for employing footers on every page. In this video, you learned that a good UI design enhances the user's experience in several ways. There are best practices for developing different components of a web and mobile interface. These components include layouts, navigation, sidebar, headers. Welcome to Introduction to Responsive Web Design, RWD. After watching this video, you will be able to describe responsive web design and its importance, explain the principles of responsive web design, discuss some methodologies used in web design, discuss essential points to consider when creating a responsive website. The world is changing because of mobiles. Nowadays, everyone carries a smartphone to communicate and search for information. As web browsing on mobile devices is expanding astoundingly, it is essential to have mobile-friendly websites to establish an online presence. We must consider that mobile devices usually have limited display space and require a different approach for content presentation on screen. Let's now understand this approach. Responsive web design aims to create web pages that render effectively across all screen sizes and resolutions, ensuring usability. The design should adapt to the user's device depending on the platform, screen size, and orientation. In responsive web design, the page layout changes depending on the capability and size of the device, mobile, desktop, or tablet. For example, users might view the content presented in a single column perspective on a mobile phone, while the presentation of the same content will be in 2 columns on a tablet. The fundamental elements of responsive design are flexible grids. Using cascading style sheets, CSS, media queries, all assets can adapt to different screen sizes and resolutions. This results in a great user experience as the website automatically adapts to the resolution depending on the device used. There is a wide range of options to choose from when it comes to devices, but optimizing website usability across various devices can be challenging for developers. Building responsive sites is the answer to these challenges. Developing a responsive website allows you to develop a single website for all devices. Creating designs for various screen sizes can be time-consuming. RWD optimizes page load time and functionality on large screens and small screens. Eliminate switching between browsers. RWD uses flexible specifications on desktop and mobile sites, eliminating the need to reroute users to a web page's desktop or mobile version. Provide a great website experience. RWD develops flexible layouts that are adaptable across multiple brands. 3 main principles drive responsive design. Other guides might apply to specific designs, but these 3 apply to all responsive sites. These are fluid grid systems, fluid images, media queries. Publishers use absolute measurement in print media to establish the size of what to display, whereas web designers define websites in pixel sizes. As devices come in assorted sizes, the total size only works for responsive design. Therefore, responsive web design employs relative sizes. Nothing on a layout will be the same size when you use fluid grids to define a design using relative values, like percentages. This implies that you must adjust the size of your layout's picture. Fluid images adapt to the size of the container. You can create a single image and direct the browser to scale it to fit the container's dimensions. You can use scalable vector graphics, SVG files, for non-photographic images. These small file formats can scale to any resolution without losing quality. Media queries are directives to change the site's design based on specific conditions. For example, a 2-column approach may not be feasible for a smartphone screen. By instructing the browser, you can use a media query to rearrange the design if the screen size is smaller than a specific size. The specific size at which the layout breaks is known as a breakpoint. Media query works best with a mobile-first approach in which you start with mobile and then scale up from there. Let's now explore a few web design methodologies that explain the design optimization process for different screens. These are responsive, adaptive, mobile-first design. In responsive designs, developers create a single fluid website design with breakpoints that change according to the screen size of the user's viewpoint while retaining usability across different devices. It uses CSS media query to change the page layout depending on the device's display type, height, width, and specifications. In adaptive design, developers create a unique website layout for each device's viewport width. When the website loads, the screen generates the template for that specific phone, tablet, or computer. It uses static layouts based on breakpoints that are non-responsive once loaded. It could be more flexible when it comes to design optimization for various screens. As the name implies, mobile-first design begins with the product design from mobile and then designs tablets, monitors, and desktops. The mobile-first design approach enables product teams to concentrate on and deliver the most crucial content to users. Now that we've gone through the different methodologies in web design, let us understand some important points to consider when creating a responsive website. These are: set appropriate responsive breakpoints, start with a fluid grid, consider touchscreens, define typography, use a theme or layout to save time, test on real devices. You can access websites through devices with varying screen sizes, but the software must render perfectly across all. To allow this transition, developers use responsive breakpoints. A breakpoint in responsive design is the point at which a website's design and content will adjust in a certain way to deliver the best possible user experience. These are also known as CSS breakpoints or media query breakpoints. The website design and content respond to these points and adapt to the screen size to present it in a way that engages the user and makes visual consumption more enjoyable. A fluid grid position arranges and adjusts web items on a site according to the screen size it must display on. The fluid grid sets up columns that scale the height and width rather than fixing them in set dimensions. It also helps maintain a site's visual consistency across multiple devices and gives you more control over alignments and quicker design-related decision-making. Most mobile devices, including tablets, now have touchscreen capabilities. Some laptops now include touchscreen features and keyboard functions. Therefore, a responsive website must adjust for touchscreen access across various devices. Components on a desktop view must be large enough to be easily pressable, whereas elements on mobile screens should be easier to detect and select. Web developers usually define the font size with pixels. These are suitable for static websites. However, responsive websites require a responsive font. The font size must change depending on the width of the container, as it is necessary to make the typography adapt to the screen size and be readable on multiple devices. Developers can use a theme or pre-designed layout with built-in responsive features if they are trying to create a responsive website on a tight deadline. WordPress offers a variety of options in this area. After selecting a theme, designers only need to decide on the color, branding, and content. We sometimes overlook the importance of testing on actual devices while researching how to design a mobile-friendly website. Checking the website's appearance on various devices is crucial when creating and implementing responsive design. It verifies how the website appears to the end users. In this video, you learned that responsive web design aims to create web pages that render effectively across all screen sizes. Developing a responsive website allows you to create dynamic web pages. 3 main principles drive responsive design. Some web design methodologies explain the design optimization process for different screens. There are some important points to consider when creating a responsive website. Welcome to Mobile First Design. After watching this video, you will be able to describe the Mobile First Design approach, explain the significance of Mobile First Design, differentiate between responsive web design and Mobile First Design, outline the best practices for Mobile First Design. Every day, there are new advancements in technology. Millions of people across the globe are using various forms of technology as a result of the recent digital revolution. Mobile devices primarily are at the forefront, and their widespread usage has led to new development techniques, such as mobile-first design, which promotes mobile-friendly web design. Mobile-first design, as the name implies, is an approach in which the product design for mobile devices is made first. Web designers accomplish this by designing the web application for a small screen first and progressively expanding it to larger screen sizes, which means they start by creating designs for mobile screens and subsequently adjust the content for larger sizes. The mobile-first design approach focuses primarily on content. As mobile devices have the most limitations, web designers have to prioritize content in such a way that they remove anything that is not required, thereby leading to a more content and user-focused design. As space is limited on devices with smaller screen sizes, designing for mobile devices initially makes sense. The team can prioritize the key elements of a website that users will experience when using the screens and remove anything that is not required. If your website is mobile-friendly, it will perform better across all devices. Nevertheless, mobile users sometimes need content that is different from desktop users. The context determines what the user will appreciate more depending on the given situation and environment. In this case, creating user scenarios is the most effective technique. According to statistics, we have developed a dependence on mobile device surfing. 52.64% of all internet traffic currently comes from mobile devices, and by the end of the year, experts believe that the percentage will rise to 75%. It is crucial to appreciate mobile-first design and the advantages it offers in light of this information. Here are a few advantages. It provides an enhanced user experience. The vast majority of internet users are on mobile devices. The website designing feature makes use of built-in phone features. And finally, it is more economical than developing an iOS or hybrid app. Let's understand a different approach now. Responsive web design is an approach that adjusts the design to the size of the device it is displayed on. There are 4 benchmarks that web designers usually design for. These are tablets, smartphones, laptop monitors, and desktop monitors. While designing a mobile website, it is essential to be strategic about the content and design. Users of different screen sizes can effectively engage with your website if your content and design are set up strategically. Let's see how responsive web design differs from mobile-first design. The mobile-first design approach covers every area of web design, right from its planning to how the design will work with desktop and other versions. Developers can make modifications to the overall design in order to ensure that all platforms function equally and offer the best possible user experience. The mobile-first design, as opposed to responsive design, concentrates on the full mobile user experience that includes an app-like user interface. It will have less text, short forms, larger fonts, and so on. The responsive web design approach, on the other hand, focuses on making a website look good across all devices. It enables web pages to automatically fit various dimensions of different devices to ensure the user can view the content on the screen comfortably. Developers make flexible changes to the design to accommodate other dimensions. We all know that developing a website can be a challenging job. To ensure that your website is completely optimized and meets the expectations of the user, development teams should be aware of the best practices. Here are a few best practices for mobile-first design to help you build your website. Prioritizing high-quality content and including it on your website can boost the success of the platform. A strong content library enables you to draw in more customers while boosting your trustworthiness and ranking on well-known search engines like Bing and Google. Avoid having a complex and unorganized navigation system. You can deliver a clean user experience to your users on mobile devices by providing intuitive navigation. Using tools like navigation drawers or an interactive sitemap can help users to navigate your website effectively. As mobile devices have space limitations, the user's field of view is limited when interacting with the website. Unnecessary pop-ups and adverts will most likely disrupt their experience on the website, leading to a bad user experience. One of the most important aspects of developing an online platform is testing your application or website before it goes live. This is also one of the most efficient methods for ensuring that your website provides a great user experience across devices. This process allows you to spot issues and fix them before it reaches the customer. Furthermore, it gives you the opportunity to ensure that the website renders correctly and translates properly across desktops, tablets, and mobile. In this video, you learned that mobile-first design is an approach in which the product design for mobile devices is made first. Mobile-first design approach focuses primarily on content. We have developed a dependence on mobile device surfing. Responsive web design is an approach that adjusts the design to the size of the device it is displayed on. There are a few best practices for mobile-first design to help you build your website. Welcome to Adaptive Layouts and Fluid Layouts. After watching this video, you will be able to describe the adaptive design approach, Explain the pros and cons of adaptive design. Describe the fluid design approach. Explain the pros and cons of fluid design. Identify the best option for your website. Different devices with various screen sizes are available due to the digital revolution. People have more options and are less reliant on laptops or computers to complete tasks or access services. Before, a website had to function well on a desktop and a laptop screen. Now, there are a variety of screen sizes we need to consider, from large desktop and laptop screens to small mobile phones and tablets. In this video, we will learn about two website optimization approaches for different screen sizes. These are adaptive design and fluid design. In this approach, developers create a distinct website layout depending on the device's screen size. The website recognizes the screen size as it loads and offers the layout for that viewport. There are 6 common screen sizes, ranging from 320 to 1600 pixels. You can design a unique user experience for any of these screen sizes. However, designing a website for 6 different screens can take much work. The process can be made easier by referring to user analytics for an existing website version. It determines which screen size users use most to access the website. For example, if most users access the site using Samsung Android mobile phones, you would create the user experience particularly for that screen size, rather than all 6 available screen sizes. When a design is made adaptive, developers create several versions for each specific size. It does not define the layout precisely. Rather, it does so within a certain range of screen sizes. Adaptable design allows developers to develop layouts that adjust to the device screen. However, this approach has its pros and cons. Let's go through the pros first. Web pages load quickly because adaptive design only requires minimal updates. The server needs to deliver the specific element that the user needs. You can enhance the user experience by providing tailor-fit solutions. If your target audience includes people using different devices with varying screen sizes, the adaptive design approach is most suitable. The requirement to constantly update your website drops as the variety of devices your target audience uses grows. You must create additional versions as more devices add to the list. Creating an adaptive design can be tedious if you consider the number of versions you would have to produce considering the number of gadgets people use nowadays. You will have to utilize more resources because of all the effort it demands, making it an expensive solution. The adaptive design is not the right solution if you have a limited budget. Let's now understand the next approach. Fluid design is also known as liquid. Many designers think that fluid design helped create other design ideas that we still use today. Fluid design is adaptable like adaptive sites, but does not use fixed units that adaptive sites utilize. It occupies the same percentage of space regardless of the screen size you use to view the site. The elements of a fluid layout spread over the same percentage of space whenever the screen size changes. The elements either expand or shrink. As a result, it always fills the width of the page. When a consumer switches from one device to another, it may appear more natural, but it can pose difficulties depending on the browser size. But the fluid design is beneficial as it can adapt to higher resolution screens that so many people have nowadays. Let's now go through the pros and cons of fluid design. We will start with the pros. A fluid design is extremely flexible because it uses a percentage of space regardless of the screen size. It adapts to the screen you're viewing the pages. This approach is user-friendly as it works according to where the users are coming from, as opposed to the usual static design that stays the same regardless of how often you switch devices or computers. The main issue with the fluid design is that, while the website's width varies according to the user's screen, the elements on the page may not. The issue regarding fluid design implies that the elements on a page will appear crammed on a smaller screen and stretched on a widescreen monitor. This approach can face challenges related to customer satisfaction when switching gadgets with varying screen sizes. Fluid design is suitable for users who view the site using a limited range of screen sizes, as the page's components remain the same. Determining which type of design works best for your website can be difficult. With so many similarities between adaptive and fluid design, how do you know which design best fits your website? Therefore, it is crucial for a company to identify its target audience and what device they use for viewing the website. Identifying pain points will allow you to decide what to address and which design approach will be most beneficial. The second factor to consider is whether you will create a new site or work with an existing one. Most new websites are built with responsive design by default, whereas older sites will require modification. Lastly, it's a good idea to define your objectives. Your team's expertise and financial capacity will determine how quickly you can create or relaunch a website. It is important to develop a strategy that achieves the best potential result within your available resources. In this video, you learned that devices with various screen sizes are available in the market. Developers create a distinct website layout depending on the device's screen size in adaptive design. Adaptive design has a few pros and cons. Fluid design is adaptable like adaptive sites, but it does not use fixed units that adaptive sites utilize. The fluid design has a few pros and cons. There are a few points to consider when identifying the best solution. Welcome to Working with Media Queries. After watching this video, you will be able to describe media queries, explain some common types of media, identify some media features used for responsive design, explain the function of media queries in devices. There are various screen sizes available for different devices. Therefore, your site must adjust to any screen size. Sometimes you might need to make significant adjustments to your layout to support a specific screen size. This is where media queries come into play. Media queries are filters for CSS styles to modify the appearance of a website or application according to the screen size of the user's device. In other words, the browser renders CSS markup only if it meets certain conditions. The most common application of media queries is in responsive design. It instructs the browser to change the website elements depending on the screen size. CSS media queries began with the CSS2 specifications. After observing the popularity of media devices, media rules came into CSS. Even though media rules did not receive wide recognition, they can present queries that can analyze a media device and apply CSS accordingly. Media queries in CSS are responsible for the transformation in the development of responsive web apps today. CSS media queries are conditions that perform effectively in hundreds of devices and browsers. It enables you to render the content depending on the type of device or orientation, introducing us to the next level of responsive web design. Here is the syntax for media queries. Let's explore common media types. Media types define a device's broad category. The screen is the most common type of media. However, there are other options as well. These are all, supports all devices. Print, displays content meant for printing. Speech is for reading devices. Screen is primarily for screens. Moreover, you can target many media types by simply listing them all. Let's now understand some key media features. Responsive web design aims to make a website adaptable to the viewing device as much as possible. Media queries query various display properties of the device, also known as media features. It allows you to define style rules for different screen sizes. Here is an overview of some media features that are common in responsive design. Width determines the screen's width in pixels. Height determines the screen's height in pixels. Orientation determines screen orientation, portrait or landscape. Resolution determines the available screen resolution. A CSS media query guide would be incomplete without mentioning the viewport meta tag. You can find it in the head section of a web page. It resizes the viewport on mobile browsers, as mobile browsers typically have a larger viewport than the actual device. The process allows the incorporation of non-responsive websites without looking wrong. Let's identify some features we can test depending on the device's capability. With so many devices on the market today, it isn't easy to specify what devices people use. But with new additions in the media query specifications, we can put some features to the test, such as pointers, hover, and any pointer. By instructing the browser, you can use a media query to rearrange the design if the screen size is smaller than a specific size. The particular size at which the layout breaks is known as a breakpoint. Determining when to modify the layout and apply the new rules to media queries is crucial. The breakpoints listed below are not standard. You can, however, use them when writing CSS. For mobile devices, it is 0px to 480 pixels. For tablets, iPads, and large smartphones, it is 481 to 768 pixels. For laptops and small screens, it is 769 to 1024 pixels. For desktops, it is 1025 to 1200 pixels. For large screens, desktops, and monitors, it is 1201 pixels and more. In this video, you learned that media queries are filters for CSS styles to modify the appearance of a website or application. Media queries are responsible for the transformation in the development of responsive web apps. Media types define a device's broad category. Some media features are common in responsive design. There are features that we can test depending on the device's capability. Breakpoints are crucial for determining when to modify the layout. Welcome to Responsive Web Design Best Practices. After completing this video, you will be able to describe what responsive web design means and identify a few best practices related to responsive web design. Responsive web design is a crucial web design trend. It is an approach that designers adopt to design web content that looks best, irrespective of the resolution of the device on which it is accessed. It means designing a web page that looks best on any device, whether it is a computer, tablet, or smartphone. Using this approach, a developer can control how the content appears on different screens. This leads to enhanced user experience, which ultimately results in higher conversions and business growth. Let's now discuss some of the best practices related to responsive web design. These include adopting the mobile-first approach, using fluid images, reducing friction, designing for thumbs, lazy loading, and utilizing device capabilities. Let's discuss each of them in detail. The mobile-first development implies developing web content to be used on a mobile device first. Today, as we are using mobile phones more than computers to live our lives efficiently, the reliance on mobile applications is increasing. The mobile-first approach gives a developer the flexibility of scaling up instead of scaling down. The technology that delivers excellent desktop user experience might struggle to scale down to mobile devices. Whereas, enhancing the mobile platform to meet the desktop requirements means adding rather than deleting elements of the mobile platform, giving developers an opportunity to be more creative about how to engage users. Moreover, the mobile-first approach ensures more freedom in terms of how a designer can adapt their designs. Using fluid images implies ensuring that an image does not have a constant size across all devices. It means that an image in a layout is resized for each device screen. Images are fluid like water and take on the size of the container. As a developer, you create an image and instruct the browser to scale the image as per the container size. Note that the image quality is maintained, despite the scaling. Friction, in terms of user experience, is anything that prevents a user from accomplishing their task. For example, a visual clutter that confuses or distracts a user or inconsistency, such as the submit button appearing differently on different pages. Friction can frustrate a user to the point that they abandon the task. Hence, try to remove or modify the step or friction that has an adverse impact. A developer should always take the user journey into consideration when designing web content. Every step that the user takes in the journey impacts the product's success, as it can either create or remove friction. Try to remove or modify the step or friction that has an adverse impact. As users today access content mostly on mobile devices, a developer should design for human thumbs. In other words, Designing web content means designing content for taps and swipes as well. The main navigation elements should be placed at the bottom of a mobile device screen, where a thumb can easily reach. Interactive elements, moreover, should be placed in the center of the screen, as thumbs struggle to reach the sides or corners of a device screen. Lazy loading is a technique that web pages use for load time optimization. This technique enables a web page to load essential content first. The web page waits to load the remaining content till the user requires it. This helps reduce the time the web page takes to open. It also ensures that the user does not have to waste precious time in loading unnecessary content. During web development, a developer should keep the capabilities of mobile devices in mind to ensure excellent user experience. Responsive web design requires adapting to the capabilities of mobile devices. The mobile hardware, such as the phone camera, microphone, or GPS services, is something that a mobile app can take advantage of. Some of these advantages include sharing the photos, which are available on the device, on a social media platform, using two-factor authentication as the authorized user is already using the device, and performing an online search with voice by using the device's microphone. In this video, you learned that responsive web design is an approach that designers adopt to design web content, and there are a few best practices related to responsive web design. Welcome to Cross-Device Validation and Testing. After watching this video, you will be able to describe cross-browser testing and its significance. Describe responsive testing and its significance. Distinguish between cross-browser testing and responsive testing. Discuss some important approaches to testing. Creating a website can be a challenging task. In order to create an impeccable website, developers work incredibly hard to get everything right. Now imagine if that website functions well on one browser and fails to perform on another browser. All their efforts will be futile. To keep clients from switching to the competitor's website, developers must deliver an outstanding and consistent user experience. Cross-browser testing ensures that users get better user accessibility and experience. Let's take a closer look at cross-browser testing. It's the process of testing a web application's functionality. It assesses how well your web application functions across different browsers on various devices. Furthermore, it also includes an accessibility check that determines whether the website is compatible with assistive technologies. No matter what device or browser your content is seen, the main goal of cross-browser testing is to guarantee a flawless experience for the end user. Cross-browser testing is crucial before releasing a website for public use. If you don't conduct cross-browser testing, there is a high possibility that a website will have a bad user experience that will impact its user base. There are two ways to perform cross-browser testing. It can be done automatically or manually. Manual cross-browser testing generates automated test scripts, enabling testers to develop better test scenarios. Automated cross-browser testing speeds up the testing process by removing repetitive test cases. Now that you understand cross-browser testing, let's learn about responsive testing. Responsive testing is the process of rendering web pages on viewports of various devices through CSS media queries. It ensures that the responsive web design effectively adapts to various screen sizes and resolutions. Responsive design entails writing a single set of CSS, HTML, and JavaScript code that renders your content to present it on any device your end user may use to view it. To render the text, graphics, and navigation properly, a responsive design creates a viewport depending on the device on which your web application will be seen. A company with a website that functions well across all screen sizes is more likely to attract customers and stay ahead of the competition. Flexible layout design, typography, and media are a few responsive web design elements considered when creating a website. Responsive design involves creating flexible layouts by utilizing flexible grids. It enables auto-sizing when website variables such as width, margins, length, and so on change. As per the guidelines of responsive web design, responsive design testing is the last stage of testing. Let's now understand the key differences between cross-browser testing and responsive testing. The following are the key distinctions. The first is category. Cross-browser testing tests various browser combinations, whereas responsive testing tests various device combinations. The second is methodology. Cross-browser testing ensures that a website or application is compatible with various browsers, whereas responsive testing ensures that a website or application can function on various devices. The third is approach. Cross-browser testing focuses on different features of an application, whereas responsive testing emphasizes on the application's design. The fourth is target. Cross-browser testing involves testing various features of the web application to ensure the features function consistently across all browsers, whereas responsive testing involves testing the design of the web application using various screen sizes. Let's now explore some important approaches to testing. These are online testing, in-browser testing, mobile emulators. You can test responsive pages on mobile browsers using a number of online services. You can view the screen of the device in your browser while the testing is done. In addition to live testing, some services offer automated testing APIs that allow you to run scripts and check for style regressions or faulty user interfaces. A viable testing strategy is to resize your browser for a few hours, but the drawback is that it quickly becomes inaccurate and unmanageable. Most browsers provide a responsive design mode that allows you to choose a device and user agent and other options like selecting a resolution, changing the pixel density, taking screenshots, and so on. You can install and run real mobile browsers and use their real rendering engines by running an Android or iOS virtual machine on your device. Some Android emulators include Android Studio and Emulator, Visual Studio Xamarin and emulators, Phoenix OS. The default browser for Android is Chrome, but you can also install Opera Mini, which is popular on feature phones with lower processing power. Options for iOS include Apple Xcode and Emulator, iPadian Simulator. In this video, you learned that cross-browser testing is the process of testing a web application's functionality. There are two ways to perform cross-browser testing. Responsive testing ensures responsive web design effectively adapts to various screen sizes. Cross-browser testing and responsive testing have some key differences. There are some important approaches to testing. Welcome to Introduction to Progressive Web Development. After watching this video, you will be able to describe Progressive Web Application, PWA, explain the advantages and disadvantages of PWA, differentiate between PWA and other web technologies, identify requirements for creating a successful PWA. Every year, several new devices with various functionalities arrive in stores. These devices provide a number of features and come with various inbuilt applications. With people increasingly relying on these devices for their daily tasks, applications play an important part in completing them. Let's explore progressive web applications. PWAs are applications built using web technologies that provide an app-like experience to users. You can install and run these applications on all devices from one codebase. These adapt to the capabilities of each device and, like websites, can operate in web browsers. PWAs use JavaScript files known as service workers, which enable offline program execution and data storage to provide app-like navigation and excellent visual quality. Let's now understand the characteristics of PWA. PWA development involves a set of optimal software development practices that aim to make a web application perform like a mobile or desktop app. Like mobile apps, PWAs send push notifications and feature an icon on the home screen. These are also simpler and faster than standard mobile apps and are shareable through URLs. These applications use the latest web features to improve capabilities and stability, which allows anyone to install what you built on any device using a single codebase. Now that you understand what PWAs are, let's learn about their advantages and disadvantages. Some of these advantages are installation, app-like, enhancement, responsiveness, connectivity, searchability, linkable. Progressive web applications are easily accessible as you can install them on the device's home screen. It has minimal page refreshes and is similar to a native app design. It functions on any device and enhances progressively, making use of any feature available on the user's device and browser. The user interface, UI, of a progressive web application adapts to the device's form factor and screen size. It can function in places with low connectivity and even offline. It is easily discoverable in search engines. This is a major advantage in terms of searchability if you compare it with native apps. It uses Uniform Resource Identifier, URI, to identify the current state of the application. This allows the web app to maintain or reload its state when the user bookmarks or shares the app's URL. Let's go through the disadvantages now. These include non-shareable, non-compatible, limited searchability. As different PWAs vary from one another, they cannot exchange resources or data. Not all brands encourage the development of PWAs. There are certain brands that do support PWAs. However, due to functional limitations, users cannot take advantage of this technology. Users should know what they want, as they cannot just enter the app and find the application they are looking for. They will most likely be unable to find it. Let's now compare PWA with other technologies and see the difference. PWAs require a smaller team with no specific or unique expertise, whereas developing cross-platform apps require a broader skill set since they must deal with a variety of native controls and plugins that are written in different languages. There are a few differences when you compare PWA directly with native apps. PWAs use lighter and simpler code bases, whereas native apps use multiple device-specific code bases. PWAs have several advantages over pure web applications. Web applications lack the same level of instability as PWAs. This is because the capabilities of the browser limit web applications. PWA has a standardized approach to simulate the native experience. To create a progressive web app, you must include the following building blocks. Service workers are one of the fundamental components of PWA technology, which help decide how to manage network requests. A service worker is a client-side JavaScript file found in the codebase that works in the background to emulate app-like functionalities. Using a secure server with an HTTPS connection protects user data and adds another layer of security to the website. A basic JSON file provides the browser with information about the appearance and functionality of the PWA. It aims to provide a native app-like experience and comprises basic information like the application name, colors, and icons. It takes effort to develop a successful web application or web app experience, but giving users a satisfying and reliable experience is essential. Here are some tips for designing PWAs to ensure a successful web user experience. The first tip is to research and analyze the hardware necessary for PWAs in order to develop an application that targets to those specific needs. The second tip is to ensure web users have access to key components of the web application offline. The third tip is to focus on speed and optimization across all devices to provide users trust in their web page connection. Finally, adopt device-agnostic designs so that online web users can access the same information regardless of device type or operating system. In this video, you learned that PWAs are applications built using web technologies. PWA development involves a set of optimal software development practices. There are some advantages and disadvantages of PWA. PWA is different from other technologies. To create a PWA, you must include some key building blocks. You should follow some key tips to ensure a successful web user experience. Welcome to Progressive Web Development Technologies/Frameworks. After watching this video, you will be able to identify various web development frameworks for creating progressive web applications, PWAs. Explain the advantages and disadvantages of some popular web development frameworks. PWAs use various frameworks and patterns to enable them to leverage both web and native app functionalities. Therefore, the first and most important step in creating PWAs is deciding which web development framework to use. It is important to evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of each PWA framework before deciding which is better. Let's now explore some of the top progressive web application frameworks, together with their advantages and disadvantages. These include Angular, Iconic, React, Vue, Polymer, and PWA Builder. Angular is an excellent framework that comes in a modular design. Each element of Angular is compatible with projects made using different frameworks. It is easy to work with as you do not have to deal with repetitive tasks, and it employs a unique compilation method known as ahead of time, AOT, which enables the rendering of applications quickly. Some advantages of Angular are: it is well designed. It has a large community of developers. It is suitable for large-scale projects because of its complex infrastructure. It has a huge archive of third-party extensions to choose from. It has an outstanding concept, ahead-of-time compiler, which optimizes speed and security. The dependency injection increases code efficiency. The elements are fully modular. Here are a few disadvantages of Angular. It has a steep learning curve. It is not SEO-friendly. It requires a good understanding of TypeScript. The second framework we will learn about is Iconic. It is an open-source framework that uses CSS, JavaScript, and HTML to create hybrid web and mobile applications. Its foundation is Apache Cordova and Angular framework, and it comes with an adaptable technology stack that enables the use of complex frameworks like Angular, Vue.js, or React to build apps. Some advantages of Iconic are: it includes a large library of elements for both the iOS and Android platforms. It makes it easier for app developers to create web pages that can be seen on a web browser. Its technology stack is extremely flexible. Here are a few disadvantages. Periodic updates necessitate a change in the application to reflect the most recent modifications. The third framework is React. It is currently one of the best libraries for creating front-end web applications. React is a prominent framework due to its Create a New React App producer. It can create both single-page applications, SPA, and multi-page apps, with the content loading and altering rapidly inside each page. It connects with HTML formats using JSX. Some of the advantages of React are: it creates multi-page SPA apps. It loads and shifts content vigorously within a distinct page. It allows the use of countless packages to scale up any app and the project. Here are a few disadvantages. Requires an understanding of JSX. Inadequate documentation. The next framework is Vue. It is one of the best PWA framework libraries as it allows quick rendering and ease of coding. It enables project scalability with the added benefit of additional packages. Platforms like Laravel and Alibaba support it. The advantages of Vue are: the code simplicity makes it simple to learn. Angular 1 and React inspire its simple structures and features. TypeScript and JSX make it simple to set up. Here are some disadvantages of Vue. It is not scalable. Therefore, it is not suitable for large-scale projects. It is not stable, and it does not support immediate assistance in solving problems. The fifth framework is Polymer. It is an open-source framework that comes with a collection of tools and templates that make the process of creating PWAs quite simple. Let's look at the advantages of using Polymer. It has a universal code. It has its own set of tools and templates. It is frequently updated with new features. It is quite simple to create PWAs using polymers. It requires very little effort on the developer's part. Here are some disadvantages of Polymer. It does not have an official integrated development environment, IDE. It takes a long time to reload. The last framework we are going to learn about is PWA Builder. It is an open-source framework by Microsoft and supports both Android and iOS application development. It converts websites into fast, effective, and engaging PWAs that work across various platforms. Some of the advantages of PWA Builder are: it supports both Android and iOS application development. It is one of the fastest ways to develop elements across devices and platforms. It can form cross-platform PWAs. It supports WebKit-powered web browsers. Here are some disadvantages of PWA Builder. Automatic processes can make management more difficult. No flexibility. In this video, you learned that the first and most important step in creating PWAs is deciding which web development framework to use. It is important to evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of each PWA framework. Welcome to Single-Page Applications. After watching this video, you will be able to describe single-page applications, SPAs, describe the functionality of SPA, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of SPA, identify scenarios in which SPAs are most useful. Web applications are replacing traditional desktop applications as web pages. They are easier to use and can function on various devices. If you plan to develop an application that is faster and compatible across various platforms, a single-page application, SPA, can be a good choice. These are ideal for giving website users a unique and distinctive user experience. An SPA loads only a single web page. Instead of loading a new page for each interaction, it rewrites the page with fresh content that it retrieves from a web server as the user interacts with it. As a result, each mouse click alters only a part of the web page. It directly renders JavaScript code into a browser and prevents page reloads while the user navigates the website. The browser retrieves the necessary HTML, JavaScript, and CSS codes with a single request, or by updating the necessary content in response to user activity. Plenty of businesses are using SPAs to offer a better user experience. Some popular SPAs include Gmail, PayPal, Google Maps, Meta, Netflix, Airbnb. Let's now explore how an SPA functions. An SPA interacts with users by dynamically rewriting the current page, providing a much better user experience because it does not load entire new pages from the server. It also prevents any disruptions in the user's journey, which is crucial for websites, especially in digital commerce. SPA makes the website operate more like a desktop application, offering a more fluid and enjoyable experience by reducing the lag time between succeeding pages. Wherever the user visits an application, some of the content remains the same, like the logo, header, and footer. There are also many recurring layouts and templates, like self-service pages, blogs, and so on. For instance, if you want to view a particular image, traditional multi-page websites will create the complete image on the server and send it to the browser. In contrast, an SPA will provide you with a template for the site, including any repetitive instructions you could use, and then pipe in the appropriate data and content to complete the design. Let's learn about some advantages of SPA. Some key advantages are better functionality, better collaboration, faster, easy to debug, better user experience. SPAs function well even when the network connectivity is weak. With just one request to the server, the application stores all the information it receives in the cache. SPAs are ideal for projects that require multiple developers. It allows greater team collaboration by enabling back-end developers to focus on the API and front-end developers to focus on developing the user interface. The website speed is faster as SPAs dynamically load only parts of the page. Single-page applications are easy to debug with Chrome because they are built with AngularJS and React developer tools. It is simple to browse or navigate the website. Let's now learn about some disadvantages of SPA. These include no browser history, poor SEO optimization, not secure, disabled JavaScript, high memory consumption. SPAs do not save user changes within the website. The browser saves only the preceding changes and not the state transitions. As a result, users are not taken back to the website's original state when they click the back button. SPAs offer poor SEO optimization. As SPAs employ JavaScript and load data from a single server, it becomes difficult for search engines to index them. SPAs are not secure as they are vulnerable to cross-site scripting, XSS. As a result, hackers can gain access to the website and insert new client-side scripts. Developers must devise methods for consumers to gain information on the website using browsers that do not support JavaScript. SPAs can run for hours. Therefore, users need to ensure the application is not consuming more memory than it needs, as it can lead to performance issues on the device. Now that you understand the advantages and disadvantages of SPA, let us go through 5 scenarios in which SPAs are most useful. These are users seeking to create a website with a dynamic platform and less data volume, users seeking to create a mobile application for their website, building social networks and closed communities as they require minimal SEO, users seeking to provide their consumers with a seamless interface, users seeking to provide a consistent and dynamic user experience for various devices, browsers, and operating systems. In this video, you learned that SPA rewrites the page with fresh content that it retrieves from a web server. There are various functionalities of SPA. There are some advantages and disadvantages of using SPA. There are a few scenarios in which SPAs are most useful. Welcome to Service Worker, Push Notifications, and Caching. After watching this video, you will be able to describe service workers and their lifecycle, outline the features of service workers, describe push notifications and their configuration, explain caching and storing data in Progressive Web Application, PWA, explain caching strategies. Users want apps to launch even when their network connection is poor or unstable and want the content to be accessible even when they are offline. They expect the app to notify them rather than failing or crashing silently when a request is not possible. To help solve the issue, service workers come into play. Service workers are an integral part of PWA that enable offline access, rapid loading, push notifications, and other features. They act as the bridge between the browser and the network. Service workers operate on a different thread than the page's main JavaScript code and do not have access to the DOM structure. As the Application Programming Interface, API, is non-blocking and supports communication across different contexts, users can receive the result whenever it's ready. Service workers are highly effective as they can manage and modify network requests, serve custom responses taken from the cache, or even synthesize responses entirely. Let's understand the life cycle of a service worker now. The life cycle of a service worker consists of 3 steps. These are registration, installation, and activation. The first step involves registering the service worker. Without registration, the browser will not know where your service worker is, making background installation of the service worker impossible. The second step involves the installation of the service worker. After learning about the location and scope of the service worker, the browser attempts to install it. Most of the caching process takes place during this phase. The last step involves activating the service worker. In order to activate a service worker, you must make sure that no other service worker is currently controlling the pages, because the activation stage is not typically automatic. Let's now explore some features of service workers. They cannot directly access or interact with the Document Object Model, DOM. They can manage network requests on your website. They can cache static assets from the website. They can make your application functional offline. They have the ability to cache network requests. They can receive push notifications even when the app is not active. They can use the Background Sync API to postpone activities until the user has stable connectivity. Now that you have a clear understanding of service workers, let's learn about push notifications. Push notifications are alerts that are sent to a recipient's device, notifying them to perform a certain action. In web-based push notifications, businesses can contact their website visitors directly on their devices without the need for an app or the personal details of the visitor. Engagement increases as a result of being effortlessly accessible to your visitors. It translates into higher sales, greater brand recognition, and improvements to your marketing funnel. Here are some cases of how you can gain profits from push notifications in various industries. Media and entertainment apps can boost website engagement and subscription by sending personalized recommendations to users as per their viewing or listening history. E-commerce applications can notify their customers about new promotions, new arrivals, and items left in their shopping carts, all of which can increase sales for e-commerce businesses. Notifying customers about attractive deals from hotels or special tours can allow growth in the tourism industry. Notifications regarding the weather condition and recommendations for destinations are additionally helpful. Banking apps can deliver alerts regarding transactional updates, security updates, or other financial advice. Similarly, fintech applications can alert users about changes in the exchange rate, stock market events, unique deals, and so on. PWA in general uses service workers to enable push notifications and offline access. Service workers provide Notifications API and Push API as a starting point for the functionality of push notifications. The Notifications API displays notifications to users, and Push API allows the application to sign up for push notifications and receive messages. It is necessary to register, install, and activate service workers. After creating your PWA and setting up the service workers, you need to configure varying permissions. Finally, you must include a way for the user to opt out of push notifications. PWAs have considerable control in terms of resource loading. Service workers have the capacity to intercept, alter, and respond directly to network requests. They account for a large part of this power. Progressive Web Applications, PWA, provide a number of options for storing data locally, allowing users to work even if the network connection goes down. Some of these include Indexed DB, web storage, cache, file system access. Indexed DB is an API that allows you to store vast volumes of structured data on encrypted media objects or files. As API is asynchronous, you can use it from your app's front-end code as well as the service worker code. The front-end code of your app can store small amounts of data using web storage. The information is set up as key value pairs and is only accessible to the current app origin. Cache API manages cached resources. Developers can store and retrieve a variety of online resources, including HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and so on, using Cache API. The File System Access API allows your PWA to read and save changes to files and folders on the user's device. A large portion of the data that applications use is dynamic, which means that information comes from databases through a remote API. There are several common strategies for this type of data. Stale while revalidate strategy, network first, cache fallback strategy, cache-only strategy, network-only strategy, cache-first strategy. A stale while revalidate strategy returns a cached version of a resource while going to the network to fetch an updated version if one exists. The network-only strategy requests only the network and no cache. This case is used for assets where any cached version would be unacceptable or risky. The network-first, cache-fallback strategy involves checking the network for a response and returning current data to the page if successful. If the network request fails, it instead returns the cached entry. The cache-first strategy checks the cache before going to the network. It is ideal for on-the-fly caching and optimizing for repetitive asset requests. A cache-only strategy is simpler because it only returns the cached resource without even attempting to connect to the network. In this video, you learned that service workers operate on a different thread than the page's main JavaScript code. The lifecycle of a service worker consists of 3 steps. Service workers have several features. Push notifications are alerts that are sent to a recipient's device. Progressive Web Applications, PWA, provide a number of options for storing data locally. There are several common strategies for applications that use data. Welcome to Converting Existing App to PWA. After watching this video, you will be able to explain the concept of a progressive web app, discuss the reasons for converting an existing website to a PWA, and describe the steps involved in converting an existing website to PWA. Progressive Web App, PWA, combines the benefit of website and mobile applications through the use of the latest technologies. PWAs work on all devices and platforms, including desktops and mobile phones, and they can be installed on the user's device just like native apps. Some of the reasons for converting existing websites to PWA are performance improvement, increased engagement, improved SEO. Let us discuss each in detail. The most significant reason for using PWA is its ability to enhance the website's performance. Traditional websites rely on an uninterrupted internet connection to function smoothly, leaving users with a weak signal or limited coverage disadvantaged. Conversely, PWAs can work offline or in low-quality network conditions because of their data caching ability, allowing users to access the content even without an internet connection. Furthermore, PWAs load faster than conventional websites by only loading the necessary HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, resulting in less data consumption. Another reason for making your website a PWA is that it can boost user engagement. Even if users aren't actively using your app, push notifications let you deliver timely and relevant updates. This helps keep your content fresh in their minds. Consumers are also less likely to experience buffering or slow connection rates while engaging with the content because of the flexibility to operate offline or in bad network connections. This enhances the user experience and motivates users to visit your website frequently. Lastly, converting your website to PWA can also improve your website's search engine optimization, SEO, as it is supported by search engines such as Google and Bing. A website can be transformed into a PWA by adding features and altering code to make it behave like an app on mobile devices. The general steps to convert a website into a PWA are: build a website or leverage an existing website, create a web app manifest file, create service workers, make your site work offline, implement testing. Let us discuss each step in detail. The first step is to build a website or leverage an existing website. You can use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to develop a new website or host your existing one on HTTPS before updating it to a PWA. This is because PWAs rely on a number of features that only work over a secure connection, like service workers and the web app manifest. The second step is to create a web app manifest file. It is essentially a JSON file that contains information about the PWA, including its name, author, icon, version, and description. The manifest also lists all of the resources that the app requires to function correctly. When a web browser connects to a network, it scans the manifest file and downloads all necessary resources. These resources are then cached locally, allowing the browser to use the PWA even when no network connection is available. The web app manifest is significant as it provides the necessary JSON data to support cached information by service workers. This, in combination with the shell application, ensures that the CSS root loading process is completed effectively and offline distribution with full UI functionality is guaranteed. To create a web app manifest, one can use a tool like PWA Builder or create it manually. After creating the manifest file, it should be added to the website's root directory. It is also essential to ensure that the website is mobile-friendly by utilizing the viewport meta tag, which allows for a seamless transition from desktop to any device size. The third step is to create service workers. Service workers are JavaScript files that act as intermediaries between the browser and the server. They provide several benefits to improve a website's reliability, performance, and user experience. One of the essential benefits of service workers is their ability to cache files and resources, which enable users to access them even when they are offline or have a weak connection. This feature is especially useful for mobile users who may face connectivity issues while traveling. Service workers can also enhance page loading times by caching resources ahead of time and managing push notifications for PWAs. They are responsible for all file caching, server push notifications, content updates, and data manipulation by listening to network requests on the server and placing them as a .js file on the user's device. The next step involves making your site offline. Keeping your website functional offline is crucial while developing a PWA, especially in places with low internet availability. You may improve your user experience and enhance engagement with your application by having your site function offline. The last step is testing. It helps identify and resolve errors before they become significant issues, ensuring that the PWA functions as intended. Different types of testing can be performed to ensure the quality of a PWA, including unit testing, regression testing, performance testing, user experience (UX) testing, and cross-browser testing. In the conversion journey of a PWA, it is essential to register and install the service worker on the Chrome browser. This step ensures that the service worker can function properly and provide the expected benefits, such as offline access and improved performance. Additionally, using tools such as the Lighthouse extension can help thoroughly audit the PWA's performance. In this video, you learned about Progressive Web App combines the benefits of web and mobile apps through the use of the latest technologies. The reasons for converting an existing website to PWA include performance improvement, increased engagement, improved SEO. Steps for converting a website to PWA are: build a website, leverage existing website, create the web app manifest file, create service workers, make your site work offline, implement testing. Welcome to Progressive Web Applications in Action. After watching this video, you will be able to explain some key features of Progressive Web Applications, PWAs, review various features of different PWAs. Progressive Web Applications have many interesting features. PWA apps can fit in any form, whether it is a phone, tablet, or laptop. It is offline capable and can work without internet or when the network is slow. PWA apps can provide native app-like features and can even update content in the background so that the users can view the most up-to-date content. It can send notifications to users informing them of upcoming events and can even be put on the home screen of the user's device to function as a native app. Here is a real-life example of how you can save a PWA app as an icon on a phone. Here, we will go to homedepot.com, which is a PWA app on the Safari browser. Then, you can click the icon Add to Home Screen. After adding the site to your home screen, you can simply click the icon, and the application will load as if it were a native mobile application. Next, we will look at Target.com. The company did a customer analytics study and discovered that most of its customers began their shopping journey on their mobile device and then make the purchase using their computer. The company quickly introduced a PWA, and since then, millions of customers access their app on different devices. Target's app rendered itself in any form factor, has easy navigation features, and the images load faster regardless of their size. The Financial Times PWA is one of the best PWAs in the news industry. It covers business and global markets. The app has a similar look and feel of the paper with its traditional salmon-colored background. The publication is one of the first news sites to introduce PWA. It works well even on slow networks, making news easily accessible for business people on the go. Financial Times PWA app has a fast loading time, is accessible offline, updates content in the background in real time, and provides a seamless video content experience. There are fun applications on PWA too. One such app is the Webboard that allows you to draw. Webboard is built with the PWA Builder. The PWA Builder can be utilized to your PWA journey. The PWA Builder has an integrated file system, which enables Webboard to have the edit, and save experience, like any other native app. It uses low-latency ink and has pen, touch, and mouse support. PWAmp is a web audio player. It is an installable web app and can also integrate with the desktop. The app has a look and feel of a streaming audio player, complete with features for playing, pausing, and forwarding songs. You can also add new songs from your laptop, sort playlists, export songs, and more. This app uses PWA capabilities such as offline features, file system access to enhance the user experience. Now, here is another app called OneDiv. It is a CSS editor that lets users create drawings with just one HTML element and CSS code. You can save the designs locally in the browser's memory and create as many as you want. You can also install the demo app locally as a PWA. The main goal of this demo is to showcase the Window Controls Overlay PWA feature, which lets you target the element for which you want to change the colors. It also demonstrates how you can create the image dynamically and store it locally on your laptop and delete it if necessary. In this video, you'll learn that PWA apps can fit in any form, whether it is phone, tablet, or laptop. The Home Depot can save a PWA app as an icon on a phone. Target renders itself in any form factor and has easy navigation features. The Financial Times PWA has a similar look and feel of the paper with its traditional salmon-colored background. Webboard is built with the PWA Builder. PWAmp is an installable web app and can also integrate with a desktop. OneDiv is a CSS editor that lets users create drawings with just one HTML element and CSS code. Welcome to Introduction to No-Code and Low-Code Tools. After watching this video, you will be able to explain the concept of no-code and low-code development, differentiate between no-code and low-code development, discuss a few popular no-code and low-code development platforms. App development is now easy, efficient, and accessible compared to when traditional coding was the only option. Let's get started with learning no-code development. No-code development is a revolutionary new approach to building applications. It is changing how we think about software development. Users may construct powerful apps using no-code technology without writing a single line of code. This approach is easier and more efficient than traditional coding, making app development accessible to a broader user base. No-code development is a programming platform that uses a visual development interface to let non-technical users build apps by dragging and dropping software programs to create a complete application. The cost of these platforms depends on the number of users and the number of applications made. Hence, it saves money and time and empowers businesses to innovate and grow in new and exciting ways. The low-code development methodology is becoming increasingly popular. Low-code development platforms give developers a simple visual interface that they may use to drag and drop pre-built modules or components into place and quickly configure them to build an application. It enables companies to produce applications more rapidly and with less technical experience. Now, let's explore the difference between no-code and low-code development applications. The main difference between low-code and no-code applications lies in the level of technical expertise required to create them. No-code applications can be built entirely by non-technical users without programming knowledge or experience. On the other hand, low-code applications still require some level of traditional software development skills, so developers or IT professionals typically create them. No-code platforms provide an intuitive visual interface and drag-and-drop components, making it easy for non-technical users to create simple applications without programming. In contrast, low-code platforms offer pre-built modules and templates, which can speed up the application development process and allow developers to focus on more complex customizations and details. Both approaches have advantages for different applications, depending on the complexity and requirements of the project. Some of the popular no-code and low-code platforms or tools are Thunkable, Stacker, Bubble, and Webflow. Let's discuss each of these tools in detail. Thunkable is a no-code platform that enables the creation and launch of digital designs. Using Thunkable's drag-and-drop interface, you can link multiple functional components to make user flows for your app development. Thunkable is a platform for creating finished mobile applications that can run on iOS and Android devices without needing to be modified. Also, you may develop native applications for the Apple and Google Play stores without starting from scratch, as the platform offers free access to many open-source projects. Thunkable is a mobile app development platform with a simple drag-and-drop interface for including elements and connecting blocks. Every app project instantly develops a mobile web app, a native Android app, and a native iOS app. Users can start from scratch or customize an open-source application from Thunkable's gallery. Bubble is a powerful and intuitive no-code platform that allows users of all abilities to create fully functioning web and mobile applications. It has a visual set of components and customization options that make it a popular tool for software development, including building apps, dashboards, CRMs, social networks, and more. Bubble is unique as it can construct dynamic, multi-user apps with all the functionality required to develop a website for desktop and mobile web browsers. It is a completely customizable platform that allows users to create and manage databases. Stacker is a cloud-based website and application builder that integrates with popular software tools such as Airtable and Google Sheets. The software allows users to transform spreadsheets into custom applications, allowing for the quick creation of customer portals, CRMs, internal tools, and other software solutions to meet business requirements. The versatility of Stacker is one of its key features. This platform enables consumers to customize applications for simple data access. It can quickly build client portals, request trackers, CRMs, and much more, using the dozens of templates offered. Another critical feature is collaboration. The platform offers field and record-level create, read, update, and delete rights. Additionally, the Kanban building piece of Stacker allows visual project management and organization. Also, Stacker is relatively easy to use. Anybody can build an internally accessible website with only a few clicks. It's essential to remember that Stacker lacks many customization and SEO tools, so it might not be as effective at creating content marketing websites. Webflow is a web design and development platform that allows users to create beautiful, responsive websites without coding skill. The platform has a user-friendly drag-and-drop interface and many templates to help you get started. Webflow allows you to tailor your site to meet your needs, whether creating a personal blog, an online store, or a company website. Moreover, Webflow offers tools for form creation, e-commerce functionality, and SEO optimization. Webflow is the perfect option for individuals, independent contractors, and organizations, since anybody can quickly develop a website that looks professional. In this video, you learned that no-code development constructs applications without writing a single line of code. Low-code development platforms allow for building applications with less expertise. Thunkable is a platform for creating finished mobile applications. Bubble allows users to create fully functioning web and mobile applications. Stacker is a cloud-based website and application builder. Webflow has a user-friendly drag-and-drop interface with multiple templates. Welcome to What is Figma? After watching this video, you will be able to define how to access Figma, describe the benefits of using Figma, list the features and costs of Figma, describe FigJam and Figma community. Designers, developers, and product teams worldwide use Figma to create and collaborate on the user interface, UI, and user experience, UX, design projects. Designers use Figma to create vector graphics, prototypes, and design specifications. With its intuitive interface, easy-to-use design tools, and collaborative features, Figma allows multiple users to work or review a project in real time. Users can access Figma across platforms, including the web, Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android. Let's learn what can be achieved with Figma. You can design visually appealing and functional interfaces for websites, mobile apps, and other digital products. Figma features include various design tools like vector editing, typography, grids, and animations. You can create wireframes and prototypes to test and refine your design concepts and share them with others for feedback. You can design and export assets, including icons, images, and graphics for your digital products. The most convenient feature of Figma is that it allows you to collaborate with your team and stakeholders in real time to share and receive feedback on your designs instantly. You've learned the many exciting features and applications of the Figma tool. Now, let's learn how to access Figma. You can access Figma from any device connected to the internet, as Figma is a cloud-based tool. You need to sign up and create an account on the Figma website. Then, you can log into the Figma website or download the Figma desktop app for Windows or Mac to start using it. You can also download the mobile app for iOS devices. Once logged in, you can access your design projects from anywhere. You can invite team members and stakeholders to collaborate on a project. Once you have set up a Figma account, you can delve deeper into discovering the features of Figma. Some of Figma's key features are vector networks and auto layout, which allow designers to create responsive designs that adapt to different layouts and screen sizes. Figma also offers many plugins to help automate design tasks, enhance the design process, and integrate with other tools and services. There are features to help with prototyping, developer handoff, and design system management. Designers can create interactive prototypes with animations, transitions, and interactions, and evaluate them on different devices and platforms. Learning to use Figma and these features can increase your employability and career prospects. Being cloud-based, Figma allows you to design and prototype for multiple devices and platforms, and offers a variety of design templates to get you started. You can access your designs from anywhere, collaborate with others in real time, and share your work easily. Free, flexible, and affordable pricing plans offer enough features to get started with learning and using Figma. Figma offers different pricing plans to cater to the needs of individual users, teams, and organizations. The free plan for individuals includes basic design features, up to 3 projects, and 30-day version history. When billed annually, the professional plan costs $15 per editor annually and includes advanced design features, unlimited projects, and team collaboration tools. The organizational plan costs $45 per editor per month when billed annually, is designed for larger organizations, and offers advanced security, administrative, billing, and priority support features. Educational institutions, nonprofit organizations, and students can get relevant discounts on the Figma website. Collaborative and community learning are the preferred ways for individuals to connect and learn from each other. Figma supports this trend with their tool, FigJam. FigJam is a real-time collaboration platform by Figma. It supports remote brainstorming, planning, and organization of ideas. FigJam has pre-built templates and drawing tools to facilitate brainstorming live collaboration features like cursor tracking and commenting. FigJam is fully integrated with Figma, allowing users to import designs and assets into their FigJam boards easily. FigJam is currently free and is useful for teams working remotely. Figma supports collaboration and community learning with Figma Community, a platform where designers can share and discover design resources and assets. The Figma community enables users to share design files, templates, UI kits, showcase their design projects, and receive feedback from others. Figma Community is fully integrated with Figma and contains a robust search function, allowing users to access and import design resources into their projects directly. It is free for anyone with a Figma account. We have learned a lot about Figma, the leading UI/UX tool in the market today. Several other devices in the industry are comparable to Figma, like Adobe XD, Sketch, InVision, and Oxure. Each of these has its pros and cons. You can explore them further to understand how they differ from Figma. In this video, you learned that Figma is a leading cloud-based UI/UX graphic design tool. Figma allows real-time collaboration on design tasks and projects with team members and stakeholders. Figma offers various features like vector networks and auto layout, wireframing, and design templates. The tool has various free and paid plan subscriptions to suit every user's needs and uses. Figma supports collaborative and community learning with its integrated platforms like FigJam and Figma Community. Learning Figma increases an individual's career and job prospects in the design and UI/UX field. Welcome to the course, Essential Concepts of Figma. After watching this video, you will be able to describe the essential concepts of Figma, explain the importance of each core concept of Figma. Let us now delve deeper into Figma and its essential concepts. The core concepts of Figma are frames, components, layers, prototyping, collaboration, plugins, auto layout, and smart animate. The first essential concept to learn about in Figma is frames. Frames in Figma are rectangular containers that hold all the design elements, like shapes, texts, and images. You can use them to define the boundaries of a design and organize its contents. You can resize or position frames on the canvas using handles or numeric inputs, and adjust the size and position of the frames independently from their contents. Additionally, designers can create a visual hierarchy and separation between distinct parts of their designs by applying a background color, image, or gradient fill to the frames. You can also create a content hierarchy by grouping the frames or design elements. This allows for the creation of complex layouts that designers can easily manage and manipulate. One can scroll or clip the contents of a frame, which is useful for creating designs with fixed or responsive layouts. The following core feature of Figma is components, which are reusable design elements. They can be used across different frames and designs, making it easy to create consistent designs efficiently. When updating a component, all instances of that component throughout the design will be updated as well, ensuring consistency and saving time. Components can have different states, such as hover or active, which you can apply to all component instances. Variants are another type of component. They allow multiple component versions with different properties, such as size or color. Applying constraints to components will determine how constraints resize when you resize their parent frame. This feature is helpful for creating responsive designs for different screen sizes. Figma has a built-in library of components that you can use to create custom components to add to the library. Another core concept in Figma is called layers. Layers refer to the individual elements that make up a design. They can include shapes, text, images, and other design elements. You can organize designs so they are easy to work with by organizing layers in a hierarchy, with each layer nested within another. Each layer in Figma has properties, such as fill color, stroke, and opacity, which can be adjusted individually. One can select, move, and edit layers individually or in groups. One can also lock or hide layers to make it easier to work with other layers. The Layer panel in Figma shows all the layers in a design, allowing quick navigation and editing. Renaming layers helps keep track of designs, stay organized, and improves collaboration. Let's now learn about prototypes in Figma. You can create interactive prototypes of designs and use them to simulate user flows and test different design concepts. Interactive prototypes can be created directly within the Figma interface without external software. Prototyping in Figma involves linking frames together using interactive hotspots or buttons. Use Figma's prototyping panel to create and edit interactions between frames, simulate different user flows, and refine the user experience of designs. Figma's prototyping features make creating complex interactions and animations easy, allowing one to create engaging, interactive experiences. Real-time collaboration is one of the critical features of Figma. Multiple users can edit the same design simultaneously, making it easy to collaborate and work together, even when team members are in various locations. Figma's commenting system is a feature that supports collaboration. Users can comment on specific design elements that other team members can address. With version history, you can access previous design versions and see changes made by other collaborators. The Team Libraries feature allows teams to create and share libraries of design assets. Giving and receiving feedback and collaborating on design changes in Figma is easy. Let's now learn about plugins in Figma. Figma's plugin library includes a wide range of plugins that can automate tasks, streamline workflows, and add new features to Figma. Install and use these plugins directly within Figma without using external software. The library includes plugins for tasks such as exporting assets, generating placeholder content, and creating design systems. Create your plugins using Figma's developer platform and API. You can create custom workflows and automate repetitive tasks, saving time and increasing efficiency. The Plugin Manager allows designers to browse and install plugins, as well as manage and update installed plugins. Auto Layout is a powerful Figma feature that creates dynamic, responsive designs. You can use Auto Layout to create nested, resizable elements that adjust automatically based on their content and surrounding features. Create responsive UI designs that adapt to different screen sizes and orientations. Auto Layout helps create dynamic lists and grids that automatically adjust based on content. Auto Layout saves time and effort compared to manually adjusting the layout for each new piece of content. Smart Animate is a powerful animation feature in Figma that allows the creation of smooth, dynamic transitions between frames. Smart Animate uses algorithms to generate animations based on the changes made between frames automatically. Smart Animate saves time and effort compared to manually creating animations frame by frame. Use Smart Animate to create animations for UI elements, such as buttons, menus, and icons. Customize animation properties, such as duration, easing, and delay, to have a high degree of control over the result. Smart Animate helps to create more complex animations by combining multiple animations and effects.
In this video, you learned that frames define the boundaries of a design and organize its content. Components are reusable design elements that create consistent designs efficiently. Layers are individual elements that make up a design. Prototyping involves creating engaging and interactive experiences. Collaboration allows multiple users to edit the same design. Plugins automate tasks, streamline workflows, and add new features to Figma. Auto Layout creates dynamic and responsive designs. Smart Animate allows the creation of smooth, dynamic transitions between frames.
Welcome to the course, Set Up and Configure Figma. After watching this video, you will be able to define the steps to set up a Figma account, explain Figma's account settings, create a new file and frame. Figma is a robust, cloud-based UI/UX graphic design tool. Let's learn how to set up and configure Figma. First, go to the Figma website and click the Sign Up button to create a Figma account. Sign up using a Google or GitHub account or by entering an email address and creating a password. After creating an account, download the Figma desktop app for your operating system or use Figma directly in your web browser. The desktop app offers additional features and faster performance, but you can use either the web or desktop option depending on your preference. Once logged into Figma, create a new file by clicking the New File button on the home screen or selecting New File from the menu. Figma offers a variety of templates and presets to jumpstart the design process. Select a template or preset when creating a new file or clicking the Templates button on the home screen. Here are the sign up and account creation steps in detail. There are two options for signing up. Use Google or GitHub account or an email address. To sign up with Google or GitHub account, click the corresponding button and follow the prompts to link your account. To sign up with an email address, fill out the registration form. Enter your first and last name, email address, and create a strong password. Then, click Sign Up to submit the registration details. Figma sends a verification email to the email address provided. Open the email and click on the verification link to activate the account. After verifying the account, log into Figma with the given email address and chosen password. Once logged in, use Figma to create, collaborate, and share designs with others. Here are the steps to download the Figma desktop app. Open the web browser and navigate to www.figma.com. Click Download in the page's top right corner. The page will direct you to choose the version of the Figma desktop app compatible with your computer's operating system, either Windows or Mac OS. Click Download next to the appropriate version. Once the download is complete, navigate to the downloaded file on the computer. Double-click on the file to begin the installation process. Follow the prompts to complete the installation process. Once installation is complete, open the Figma app on the computer. Sign in with your Figma account details or create a new account if you have not done so already. Let's now learn how to create a new file in Figma. Open Figma, either in the web browser or on the desktop app. If on the web browser, click New File, located on the left side of the dashboard. If in the desktop app, click File in the top left corner of the screen, and then select New File from the drop-down menu. Figma will show you several options for creating a new file. Choose the option that best fits your current needs. For example, start with a blank canvas or use one of Figma's templates. Please select the preferred option, give the new file a name, and choose where to save it. Click Create to create the new file. You will now be redirected to the Figma editor, where you can start designing and creating your project. Let's learn how to create a new frame in Figma. Open the Figma file. In the left-hand panel, select the page or frame where you want to create a new frame. Click the Frame tool in the toolbar on the left-hand side of the screen, which looks like a rectangle with a dashed border. Click and drag the cursor on the canvas to create a new frame. Adjust the size and shape of the frame by dragging its edges or using the Properties panel on the right-hand side of the screen. You can also choose to create a frame from a selection of objects. To do this, select the objects you want to include in the frame, right-click, and select Create Frame from the context menu. Give the new frame a name by double-clicking on the default name, Frame 1, in the Layers panel on the left-hand side of the screen, and type in a new name. That's it! You've successfully created a new frame in Figma. You can now begin adding elements and designing your layout within the frame. In this video, you learned about setting up a Figma account, Figma's account settings, creating a new file and a new frame. Welcome to Images, Shapes, and Tools. After watching this video, you will be able to explain the various tools in Figma, describe the function of images in Figma. Figma is a versatile design tool for creating various designs, from user interfaces to logos and icons. Images are essential elements in Figma that you can use to build designs. You can add images to the canvas by dragging, dropping, or using the import feature. Figma supports various image file formats, such as JPEG, PNG, and SVG. Shapes are essential, vector-based, and customizable elements of Figma. Below are the tools in Figma. Selection tool, selecting and moving objects. Vector tool, creating vector shapes. Text tool, adding and editing text. Pen tool, creating custom shapes. Pencil tool, freehand drawing. Alignment tool, align objects on the canvas. Constraints, control object behavior when you resize the screen. Boolean operations, combine, subtract, intersect, and exclude shapes in design. The selection tool is the default tool in Figma. You can use it to select and move objects on the canvas. Click Selection tool icon in the toolbar or the V key. Click and drag an object to move it. A bounding box with handles will surround a selected object to resize it. Group objects together, easily move and manipulate them as a single unit with the selection tool. Let's learn about the vector tool in Figma. You can use the vector tool to create vector shapes like rectangles, circles, polygons, and lines. Select the vector tool from the toolbar or click R. There are options for adjusting fill and stroke color, weight, corner radius, and more. The vector tool supports various shape creation modes, including drawing shapes from the center, drawing with equal sides, and more. To edit a vector shape, select it with the selection tool and then use the vector tool to adjust its properties. You can combine vector shapes using the Boolean operations, which allow adding, subtracting, intersecting, and excluding shapes from one another. You can use the text tool to add and edit text in designs. Select the text tool from the toolbar or use the keyboard shortcut T. Click anywhere on the canvas to start typing text. You can adjust the font, size, color, and other properties using the toolbar or the right sidebar. The text tool also has text formatting options, including bold, italic, underline, and more. To create text boxes with a fixed width and height, click and drag, and then start typing. You can resize text boxes using the selection tool. Use text in Figma for body copy, headings, buttons, and more. Use text with other design elements like shapes, images, and icons to create compelling and visually engaging designs. Figma includes support for Google Fonts to add custom fonts to designs. The Pen tool creates a variety of shapes and paths, from simple lines to complex illustrations. Select the Pen tool from the toolbar or use the keyboard shortcut P. Click the canvas to create a starting point and continue clicking to create a path. You can also click and drag to create curves. The Pen tool has several options, including stroke adjustment, color fill, stroke weight, and more. Several keyboard shortcuts for precise editing include adding and removing anchor points. When working with the Pen tool, use the Zoom tool to create precise curves and shapes. You can use the Pencil tool to draw freehand lines, quickly sketch ideas, and create rough designs and shapes. Select the Pencil tool from the toolbar or use the keyboard shortcut N. Click and drag on the canvas to create freehand lines and shapes. You can also use the Shift key to constrain the angle of your lines. The Pencil tool has options like adjusting stroke color, weight, and more. However, the Pencil tool
is only suitable for some work.
To edit lines and shapes created with the Pencil tool, use the Selection tool to adjust anchor points and curves. Boolean operations refer to tools and techniques to combine, subtract, intersect, and exclude shapes and designs. Using these operations, you can create more complex shapes by manipulating the geometry of similar shapes. Figma supports 4 Boolean operations: union, subtract, intersect, and exclude. Each operation has its unique way of manipulating shapes to create the desired effect. Boolean operations are essential for creating icons, logos, and other graphics that require precise shapes and designs. Alignment is a powerful feature in Figma that allows precise positioning and arranging objects in designs. Alignment is crucial for creating a professional and polished design. Alignment options include left, right, center, top, bottom, middle, distributed horizontally, vertically, and more. Align objects by selecting them and using the Align panel. The Align panel allows specifying the exact position and spacing of objects in the design. Figma allows you to import and edit images in your designs easily. You can resize, rotate, and position images using the Selection tool. Whether a website, app, or any other design project, images enhance the design and communicate ideas more effectively. Figma supports several image formats, including JPEG, PNG, and SVG. You can adjust images' opacity and blending mode using the Properties panel. You can crop and mask images to fit the desired shape and size, giving you more control over image display in the design. Add effects to images, such as shadows and blurs, to give them a more polished look.
In this video, you learn that images are essential elements in Figma that you can use to build designs. The Selection tool allows you to select and move objects on the canvas. The Vector tool creates vector shapes like rectangles, circles, polygons, and lines. The Text tool adds and edits the text in designs. The Pen tool creates a variety of shapes and paths, from simple lines to complex illustrations. The Pencil tool draws freehand lines quickly and creates rough designs and shapes. Boolean operations refer to tools and techniques to combine, subtract, intersect, and exclude shapes and designs. Alignment allows precise positioning and arranging objects in designs.
Welcome to Working with Figma. After watching this video, you will be able to explain the basic features of Figma, describe the interface, tools, and menus of Figma.
Here are some features of Figma we will cover in this module: structure, frames,
Layers,
components, constraints, collaborate, files, toolbar, groups, auto layout, and prototyping.
In Figma, the structure of a design is based on frames and layers. Frames group related elements and create sections within the design. You can create frames of assorted sizes and shapes, resize and reposition them, as well as nest frames within other frames to create more complex structures.
You can create multiple layers containing one or more design elements within a single frame, as well as rearrange, rename, and group layers together to keep the design organized.
Layers manage the visibility and positioning of individual elements within a frame. Figma offers a Pages feature. It creates multiple pages within a single file to organize the design. Frames are containers that hold design elements like shapes, text, and images. You use frames to define the boundaries of a design. Resize and position frames on the canvas using handles or numeric inputs and adjust their size and position independently from their contents. Each frame has its own properties, including position, size, and background color. Nest frames within other frames to create hierarchical designs that are easy to manage and manipulate. Use frames to create mock-ups, wireframes, and high-fidelity designs. The frame's contents are scrollable and easy to clip, which is useful for creating designs with fixed or responsive layouts. Designs within frames can be shared, commented on, and collaborated with other users in real time. Figma's Layers panel provides a way to organize and manage design elements. Use layers to group related elements, create hierarchies, and control the visibility and positioning of your components. Components are reusable design elements that are time-saving and effort-saving. Updating a component updates all instances of that component throughout the design, ensuring consistency. Use components across different frames and designs. Using components to create buttons, icons, and other frequently used design elements can streamline workflows.
Components can have different states, like hover or active, and you can apply these states to all component instances. Components can have constraints applied to them, determining how components resize when you resize their parent frame. This sort of resizing is useful for creating responsive designs for different screen sizes.
Variants are components that allow for multiple versions of a component with different properties. Figma has a built-in library of components. Create your custom components to add to the library. You can create responsive designs which adapt to different screen sizes and orientations with the Constraints feature. Use constraints to define the behavior of design elements as they resize, maintaining their aspect ratio or aligning them to specific edges. Figma is a collaborative tool. Use comments, version history, and design handoff features to communicate with teams and share designs with stakeholders. You can create and manage multiple files for design projects. Each file can contain multiple frames and be organized into different pages or sections. Various file types are available, like design, prototype, and presentation files. Version history allows tracking changes to design files, and you can revert to previous versions if needed. Use Figma's design libraries to reuse design elements across multiple files and projects easily. The toolbar in Figma contains these tools. The Selection tool selects and manipulates objects in the design. The Move tool allows moving selected objects around the design canvas. Use the Frame tool to create a frame for the design containing other objects. Shape tools create basic shapes in the design. The Pen tool creates custom shapes and paths. Use the Text tool to add text to the design. The Slice tool creates slices of the design for exporting. With the Boolean Operations tool, you can combine shapes to create more complex designs.
The Paint Bucket tool allows you to fill shapes with a solid color. Use the Eyedropper tool to select colors from other objects in your design.
Use the Zoom tool to zoom in and out of the design canvas. You can use the Hand tool to move around the design canvas. And finally, the Comment tool allows you to add comments to your design for feedback and collaboration. Use Group to combine multiple objects into a particular group for easier manipulation. Ungroup allows breaking away from a group into individual objects. Group Selection to group a selection of objects without creating a new group layer. This is useful for the temporary grouping of objects that you want to manipulate. Double-click on a group to enter and edit the objects inside it. Duplicate Group to create a copy of a group layer. Learn the keyboard shortcuts for these tools or access them with a right-click and select from the context menu. Create dynamic, responsive, nested, and resizable elements that adjust automatically based on their content and surrounding elements with Auto Layout. Use Auto Layout to create responsive UI designs that adapt to different screen sizes and orientations. Create dynamic lists and grids. Auto Layout saves time and effort. Create complex interactions and animations, engaging, interactive experiences using Figma's prototyping features.
You can prototype within Figma without needing any external software.
Prototyping involves linking frames together using interactive hotspots or buttons. The prototyping panel creates and edits interactions between frames.
Simulate different user flows and interactions using the prototyping features.
Share prototypes with others, gather feedback, and collaborate on design changes.
In this video, you'll learn that Figma comprises a number of important basic features. Each feature of Figma performs various functions. Welcome to Getting Started with Components. After watching this video, you will be able to explain Figma components and the benefits of using them, discuss tips to organize components in Figma, discuss best practices to structure components in Figma, define the benefits of Figma variants and different component states. Figma components are pre-designed and reusable user interface elements that can be easily customized and shared across design projects. You can select a design element, such as a button or icon, and turn it into a component. Let's now discuss the benefits of Figma components. The benefits of Figma components are: components reduce the need for repetitive design work and save time as they are reusable. Components help to ensure that design elements are consistent throughout the project. Components help to make design updates faster and more efficient as they can be edited and updated. Components can be customized to fit different design needs, while maintaining consistency, allowing for greater design flexibility. Components can expand and update by creating a modular design system. Components are applicable in a variety of design contexts. Components help to create better designs because of faster prototyping. Organizing components in Figma ensures your designs are consistent, efficient, and easy to update. Here are some tips to help you organize components in Figma. Use a consistent naming convention that is clear and easy to understand. For example, you can prefix component names with a category or type like button, primary. Organize your components into libraries based on their type, function, or usage. For example, buttons, icons, and forms. Develop highly sophisticated design systems by using nested components. For example, a form component that contains input components. Use Figma's Auto Layout feature to design responsive, flexible components that dynamically change in size and position according to the information they contain. Create a master component library containing all your components to share and collaborate with other designers easily. Track component updates with version control and revert to previous versions if required. Structuring components in Figma involves organizing and grouping design elements into reusable components. The process assists in developing a design system that is modular, adaptable, and simple to maintain. The following are the best practices for structuring components in Figma. Use the automatic design principle supported by Figma, which involves breaking down a design into its smallest components, such as buttons or icons, and building up from there to form a more complex design. The organization of components should be done hierarchically, with the primary categories at the top and the subcategories below, resulting in the structure becoming clear and the design navigation made simple. Use consistent naming conventions for components throughout the design system. Create variants and states of your design element component based on its context or interaction state to help create dynamic and interactive designs while maintaining consistent design systems. Separate the styling of your components from the content that they provide. It makes it simpler to maintain consistency throughout your design since you may update a component style without altering the content. Utilize Figma's auto layout feature to build responsive design systems that adapt to different screen sizes and layouts. Organize the Figma library into different categories and folders and share them with your team. Share your designs with others, add comments and feedback, and work on designs together in real time. Let's now discuss a powerful feature in Figma variants. It allows the creation of multiple versions of a component with different states, such as hover, active, or disabled. Let's explore the benefits of variants in Figma. Variants allow the creation of consistent and reusable components across the design. Variants automate the process of creating and updating components, saving you time. Instead of creating a separate component for each state or style, you can create variants of a single component and customize them as needed. Variants offer flexibility and customization options for your components. You may modify the attributes of your variations, such as fill color, stroke style, and text content, by adding additional states or styles. Variants help to organize the components by grouping related versions in a single component. Variants are especially helpful when creating responsive design because they adapt to different screen sizes and devices. Figma component states are different versions or representations of a component that can have different visual properties, behaviors, or interactions. Some common component states in Figma are hover state, press state, focus state, disabled state, selected state, active state, error state, success state, loading state, and default state. Let us define each of these component states. A hover state is activated when the mouse pointer hovers over a component. The press state provides users with visual feedback when interacting with the design button, icons, or other interactive elements. A focus state provides visual feedback to users with disabilities or who prefer keyboard navigation instead of a mouse. The disabled state indicates that the component is inactive or unavailable. The selected state indicates that the component has been chosen or is part of a selected group. The active state of a component is activated when the user clicks on it, which typically changes the component's appearance. The error state represents that a component has an error or is incorrect. The success state is the visual representation of a successful action or outcome, such as completing a task or submitting a form. The loading state communicates to users that content is loading and that they should wait until it is complete. The default state is the basic state of a component, which is what it looks like when there is no interaction with it. In this video, you learned that a design element is chosen to construct a Figma component. Figma components offer many benefits. Organizing components in Figma is essential. Use best practices. Variants allow the creation of multiple versions. There are various component states in Figma. Welcome to Styles and Libraries in Figma. After watching this video, you will be able to describe Figma and its various design styles, explain Figma libraries and styles, explain some popular design systems, discuss the benefits of using styles and libraries. Figma is a design tool that enables users to develop designs across various platforms, including online and mobile. Although Figma does not come with a built-in list of styles, designers can use a variety of design trends and styles as a reference when designing their creations. These are the different design styles that are common in Figma: Material Design, iOS, Windows, Mac OS, Fluent. Material design and Figma styles include a set of predefined colors, typography, and iconography, as well as other design elements, such as shadows, elevation, and layer styles. iOS styles include a set of predefined colors, typography, and iconography, as well as other design elements such as shapes and symbols that are unique to iOS design. Windows includes a set of predefined colors, typography, and iconography, as well as other design elements such as button styles, navigation, and menus that are unique to Windows design. Mac OS include design components that are exclusive to the Mac OS design language. Fluent in Figma includes design elements such as shadows, depth, and animation effects unique to Fluent design. Let's learn about Figma libraries now. Figma libraries are collections of design elements, styles, and assets that developers can use across multiple documents and projects. There are 3 types of libraries in Figma: Team Library, Personal Library, and Public Library. Let's go through styles now. The style describes the properties of elements in a design, such as text, shapes, and layers. Using styles makes your design process more efficient and consistent by allowing you to apply properties to multiple parts of your design. There are several types of styles in Figma. These include text styles, color styles, layer styles, component styles, and effect styles. Let's look at some popular design systems available as public libraries in Figma. They contain pre-designed UI components, styles, and assets that you can use in your design projects. A few popular design systems are Google Material Design, Bootstrap, iOS Design Kit, Salesforce Lightning Design System, Fluent Design. Let's discuss each one in detail. Google Material Design is an open-source code with an adaptable design. Bootstrap imports options like gradients and shadows for customizable designs. iOS Design Kit has 3,300 variants of components, along with SF Pro font and the latest SF symbols. Salesforce Lightning Design System creates Lightning Design System components. Fluent Design creates Microsoft Fluent experiences. Let's now discuss some benefits of using styles and libraries in Figma. All the components are in the library, ensuring uniformity in the design. As a result, there are fewer errors and discrepancies. The variety of styles improves the design and workflow. You can use colors and typography elements to create a cohesive design system and update and manage it whenever necessary. Your personal and work efficiency increase because you can reuse design assets available in the library. Members can collaborate by leveraging assets and components from the library. As a result, the task of the team becomes simpler. The library's components are scalable, making adding additional elements and components easier as the design grows. Any user, regardless of their level of knowledge or expertise, can use the library's design components. You can save time and effort by navigating across different screens and devices. Designers can modify the designs if they want to use them in different projects. In this video, you learned that Figma is a design tool that enables users to develop designs. There are different design styles that Figma typically employs. There are 3 types of libraries. There are several types of styles. Some popular design systems are available as public libraries. There are multiple benefits of using styles and libraries. Welcome to Cards and Layout Grids in Figma. After watching this video, you will be able to explain the functionality and benefits of cards in Figma, describe the functionality and benefits of layout grids in Figma. In Figma, cards are a user interface design pattern to group related content and actions in a flexible and extensible container. You can use cards to display information such as text, images, and links. And cards provide an easy-to-read format with a clear hierarchy of information. Cards help to group related content and actions in flexible and extensible containers and make it easy to navigate and find information. Cards provide an easy-to-read format, a clear hierarchy of information, and customization of design elements. Cards are an excellent choice for mobile-first designs, as cards facilitate responsive design for mobile and desktop devices. Cards in Figma improve user experience by making it easier to navigate and find information. Easy-to-read formats and a clear hierarchy of information helps distinguish between various types of content and actions. Cards help customize design elements for a cohesive visual style. Cards facilitate responsive design for mobile and desktop devices, making them an excellent choice for creating mobile-first designs. Layout grids are tools and guidelines to help create consistent layouts, spacing, alignment, and positioning design elements on the canvas. You can set up layout grids with customizable columns, rows, and gutters to fit the specific needs of the design. Set up responsive layouts for a design to adapt to different screen sizes and orientations with layout grids. Create baseline grids, which help create consistent vertical spacing for text elements. Use layout grids in conjunction with other tools in Figma, like Auto Layout, to create complex and precise designs. Find layout grids in the toolbar, create, and adjust as needed. Layout grids in Figma provide the functionality to create consistent layouts and spacing in designs. Let's learn about some of the layout grids in Figma. The column layout creates a grid with a specific number of columns. Similarly, the row layout creates a grid with a specific number of rows. The grid layout is to create a grid with both columns and rows. Gutter size adjustment is to adjust the spacing between columns or rows. Column width adjustment allows you to adjust the width of each column. Column count adjustment is to adjust the number of columns in a grid. Row height adjustment allows you to adjust the height of each row. Baseline grid, snap to grid, grid opacity or color adjustment, responsive layout, and breakpoint adjustment are some of the other types of layout tools available in Figma. Let's learn about the benefits of using layout grids. Consistency. Layout grids help maintain consistency in design and layout throughout a project. Efficiency. Grids help to work more efficiently by providing a structure that can guide the placement of elements on a page. Clarity. Layout grids make a design easier to read and understand by organizing information clearly and logically. Balance. Layout grids help achieve balance and harmony in a design by distributing elements evenly and creating hierarchy. Adaptability. Layout grids help create adaptable designs for different screen sizes and resolutions. Creativity. Layout grids aid to create more complex and interesting designs by providing a framework for experimentation and innovation. In this module, you have learned the following: the many functionalities and benefits of cards in Figma. Cards help to group related content and actions in flexible and extensible containers and make it easy to navigate and find information. The functionalities and benefits of layout grids, like column, row, gutter size, baseline grids, and so on in Figma. Layout grids help achieve consistency, efficiency, clarity, balance, adaptability, and creativity while designing in Figma.